and really appreciate your time this week. We've prepared a lot of new content. Basically, it's the you know it's all the work we've been doing this year. So it's really exciting to be able to present it to you, the highlights of this year. We just passed 21 years in business on September 15th. And Hillary, we're recording, right?
Yep, I started
Thank you.
recording.
So we want to thank you for being our customer. We have a few people who are not yet full customers, and I think we have a couple people auditing the course as well. But we've had a long history of working on forms dating back to 2003. But here's a shorter history, last 10 years or so. I want to draw your attention to the bottom right here. This InfoPath support is ending in 2026. We've been focused on trying to get the Forms Designer features to InfoPath parity over the last year. Lots of really cool stuff to show you this week. So over the years, we've done a lot of things to help you build great forms. We've actually gave you scalability with DBXL. We filled all the feature gaps in InfoPath with key rules. We gave you beautiful forms that work on the mobile and desktop with responsive UI. Obviously, signatures are key. We've actually have a lab on day 2 with one-time authentication stuff. We're really thrilled to show you here. She's going to show that tomorrow. And then, people need to access via phones. They need to extend their forms with their own features. Central Flows is our workflow solution. And then lastly, we have new AI tools to show you this week, which we're really happy to present. So Qdabra forms are different than other form companies out there because we actually support InfoPath's native XML format, which gives you hierarchical structure. And this is really key for rich forms. Obviously, we're trying to do low code. We give you the option to extend your forms with JavaScript. But low code means low maintenance cost, right? You don't have to hire developers to maintain your solutions. Our solutions are built to save you time. So it's not just about the forms. We actually build these solutions on top of them. We're going to show you these today and tomorrow. And these solutions can be adopted kind of as is to augment your forms, take them to the next level. You've got forms, you want to leverage that investment, and that's why we're here to help you. And not only do we support this legacy InfoPath format, but we also give you all these new features. And we support on-prem, off-prem, no SharePoint needed. Anyway, okay. So this is day 1 of the training. It is not snowing here in Japan. I'm in Nishinomiya. We're going to ask you where you're at in a minute. Our goals are to help you unlock the full potential of your investment in Qdabra Forms, to show all the new stuff that we've done, the fruits of our labors over the last year. We're going to show you demos and labs, and we've been testing these demos and labs over the last week. I'm really thrilled. This stuff is really exciting. We've got some great stuff for you today. And the main thing is to elevate you don't think about forms that often. You've got a lot of stuff on your plate. Seriously, we understand this, right? That we're trying to give you this one moment here to try to think beyond what you've been doing and maybe add some new features to your forms, elevate them. So today we're going to start with Jimmy, and then we're going to go to Sweta, and then we're going to finish with Mel, and they'll be your demo guides, and they'll be leading you through this new technologies. We've got new forms today we're going to talk about. Hillary is our I want to say MC. Is that right, Hillary? Should we call you an MC?
I think I'm our TA. I'm our teacher's assistant. I'm here to help you guys. I have a couple labs, you guys, but mostly like if you get stuck, you've got the support alias to reach out to, but reach out to me too. I'll help answer questions during training because we've got a lot of people at training this time. So yeah, I'm gonna try to help get everybody juggled to make sure everybody has what they need.
Awesome. And it's thanks to everyone else that we have this training today. I didn't do a whole lot. I just kind of like focused on where we needed to fill in the gaps. But the real credit goes to everyone who's created labs, and that includes Hillary and Mel. Kaudu she's working on a lab as well. She'll be here in day 4. She's also helped with the slides and the SharePoint site. Of course, Jimmy is our lead developer, and he's been critical in actually building and managing the Forms Designer team, the developers, to create all the features you're going to see this week. And we have these 3 new developers over the last 2 years, actually. They've been with us almost 2 years. And we're really happy to have them join us as well this week. So we have one big question for you in a minute, and that is, are you just auditing the course? Are you just here to listen, or do you actually want to get course credit, finish the labs? And for that, we'll give you $1,000 of USD. Not Bitcoin, just USD. Sorry. So let's go around the table and have you introduce yourself. Where are you from? How many forms have you designed? And we have a lot of people, so we have to go quickly. We've got 5 questions. If you can spend 30 seconds to give us a quick intro, that would be awesome. Hillary, can you call people out, please?
Yes, absolutely. So let's start with Alexander. We'll just start at the top of our little alphabetical list.
It brings you back all the way to school days.
Sorry, you were always first, weren't you? Oh.
That's fine. That's fine. Yes, my name is Alexander Bruslavsky, and I'm a solutions expert here in GDIT. What I'm trying to take out of this course, this is new to us. We have recently acquired the Qdabra Forms, and since we have a lot of legacy, the InfoPath forms, and as well as the SharePoint 2010 workflows, it definitely seems like really good alternative for us. Here, mainly observe, learn as much as I can about in the Qdabra Forms capability. I'm really more like the infrastructure slash back and system admin, not necessarily deal with end users and UI. This is more prerogative of another developer, and Ali is also here
She's next,
on the
right?
training. Yes. So that's more, but nonetheless, and I still want to learn, observe as much as I can, and in case we need to expand or redesign or take a next step, so we able to do that. And I'm here in the United States in Virginia, so it's actually really nasty outside. It's cold and foggy. So I would
Winter.
Thanks for going first.
Yeah.
Sorry, Larry.
Yeah, that's fine. So Allie, you're up next.
All right, I'm Allie Roberts. I am in Memphis, Tennessee. I have designed many forms. We only have like 30 on, well, I say only, we have about 30 on the current program I'm on. Like Alex said, we have just recently acquired Qdabra Forms, but I have gone through the entire backlog of videos and training. So I feel pretty comfortable with it. I watched it on like 1.5 or 1.75 speed. But let's see, I do want to get the credit, so I'm going to try to be doing the labs, and I just want to get more familiar still and learn all the new features.
Awesome to have you here. Thank you, Ali and Alex, for joining us. We're really pleased to have you in our stable, or in your customer list, I guess, how do you say it? We're in your stable or you're in your stable? I forget how to say it. So, who's next, Hillary?
Benjamin.
Hi, yeah, can you hear me?
We
My mic
can.
working? Okay, perfect. Yeah, my name is Benjamin. I'm from Roseburg, Oregon, in the States. I have never used Qdabra before. I work for the Douglas Education Service District, and our company does have a Qdabra as a software service. I'm here to learn all I can and kind of become the in-house Qdabra expert to help us leverage using Qdabra for education and helping our local school districts. So I'm going to be trying to be engaged and do the labs and get as much as I can out of this training.
Are you going for credit?
Wonderful. You're
Are
going
you
for credit?
going for the credit, Benjamin?
Yes, yeah, I will be trying to do
Awesome,
that.
awesome.
Yeah.
And how's
Perfect.
Astika doing?
He's good. He's good. He's the one that put me up to this. So he's like, learn that stuff and do the thing. I'm like, okay.
Glad to have you here. Thank you for joining so
Yep.
early in your morning. Who's next, Hillary?
Right. Next is Bob.
Hey, good morning. My name is Bob Baker. I'm with the New York State Unified Court System up here in Albany, the capital of the great state of New York. We've been using Qdabra for a couple of years now, I think, and we're
12.
really starting 12. Couldn't really that
Amazing,
long.
isn't it? Yeah. Before you, probably.
I've only been here. Well, yeah, I was out in the courts for a while, and then I moved over to the Division of Technology. But yeah, so now we're really going gangbusters, converting all our info path forms into forms viewer.
That's so good to hear. That's so good to
yeah,
hear.
just matter of fact, Hillary helped me out with a problem the other day, so that was good.
There you go, Hillary.
But, yeah, so yeah, I'm just looking to get some more information, and yeah, I'll be trying to do the lab. It's going to be tough with we got tickets coming in all the time, but
Sure. Should go for credit. Go ahead.
so we
We'll have
can.
to get it. Awesome. Awesome. Hillary?
Yes. So next we have Kathy.
Hello, I'm from Beaumont, Texas, near Houston, Texas. I have built many forms. I started making forms in 1999, so there's been many. I've been
Before we put that, what were you using, Kathy?
I've been using Qdabra Forms. It was in place when I started here, so probably a little bit less than 18 years, I would think. My predecessor had it. Not exactly sure when Beverly started with it, but Hillary would know better. She was there before me. My engagement preference is for credit. I'm going to try that. And what I hope to get out of the training is to utilize the tools. All of the tools would be ideal.
Thanks for saying that. Okay, who's next?
Chris.
He's not here. Can you leave a
Oh,
message?
bye, Chris. Never mind, Chris.
He is here. I know your
Hello.
voice.
Yeah. I am Chris. I am from Parsippany, New Jersey. I'd say we've done probably a dozen or more forms. Some have come and gone. I think we've been using you for a long time. I can't even begin to remember when we started using you. That's how long it is.
I'm going to say 2010.
It's got to be. It was before forms. Qdabra Forms was really doing what you were doing, right? I mean, we had done a lot of stuff on
No, we've always been
Adobe.
pure. We've always been pure to the mission. No Adobe here. Come on.
Right.
Sorry.
So, or InfoPath, I should say. Yeah.
Nothing against Adobe. We have Adobe converters in our list of future design improvements to help you import Adobe PDF forms, but sorry. Okay.
We're looking to, I'll look to get the credit as I've done in the past since I'm doing the work. And it's always good to refresh my knowledge. And like I said, you don't use it, you lose it. So I lose it a lot. So.
Don't we all?
I think you're using it a lot too. So it's just there's just a lot of stuff to learn these days. Thanks, Chris, for being here. We love you. Hillary?
Evan.
Mr. Freiberg, are you with us from Florida? Who's next?
If you could read.
Oh, yes. Okay.
Yeah.
Looks like he left a message in the chat.
Yeah, thanks, Jim.
Okay.
Who's next?
Oh, he has a cold. Okay, so Evan said he's from Winter Garden, Florida, near Disney. Over 20 forms, over 15 years. He's been working with us for a while, which is true. And he's here to get credit and learn new stuff.
Credit. Okay. And he's
All
been with
right.
us for multiple companies. Awesome. I hope your cold
Yeah.
gets better, Evan. I hope you don't have
Yeah.
COVID. Okay.
So next is
COVID.
Heidi.
Yeah. Heidi.
Hey, Heidi Wallman from Western Mass. I work for Cannon Ranch, and we use one main form in human resources, and I bother Mel all the time. So I want to learn as much as I can so I don't have to call her every time I need something.
Thanks for being here. Awesome to have you.
Next, we've got Irina.
Hi, I'm Irina Jasmir and I'm working for Tayuden USA. I'm from Oceanside and we haven't been using Qdabra yet, but we're planning moving to you guys next year, and I'm eager to learn as much so I can be very helpful with this project of moving all our forms to Qdabra. And I've been developing around maybe 30 forms in InfoPath. And like I said, I would like to learn as much as I can today about Qdabra tools, and I would like to get a credit. But like
great.
other people saying that we have a work to do, so hopefully I'll have
Well,
time.
we're going to give you until January 15th to finish labs, but obviously we have to have some kind of a challenge for you, right? So,
Yeah, I'm up to challenge.
awesome. Thanks for being here. Nice to have
Wonderful.
you.
It's a pleasure.
And next we've got Josh.
Oh, hey guys, I'm Josh out of Oklahoma City. I work for Oklahoma Medical Research Foundation. I've never touched Qdabra or InfoPath forms. I've experienced in various other form designing applications, WordPress, Salesforce, .NET, other stuff like that. I'm a hands-on learner, so I'm definitely gonna do those labs and try to get that credit.
Sweet. Great, Josh. Thanks for joining. We love OMRF. We've been with you for a long time, and thanks for being here.
Yeah, it's my turn. So.
Yep.
And we've got Misty next.
Misty.
Good morning. Hi, everybody.
Hi.
I am Misty Ackerberg. I'm with I'm in Bettendorf, Iowa, and we Preston and I, he's here with me too, are with Impact Life Blood Center, and we have, I don't know, 200 and something forms with you guys.
Overachiever.
Overachievers. And we've been using Qdabra. How long's it been now, Patrick? 12 more? 14 years? 12 years?
Thank you for being here.
A long
We
time.
just love working with you guys. You guys are amazing.
I think I'm single-handedly the bane of poor Hillary's existence. But
Not at all. I love seeing you pop up in Teams with some
because
new
it's always a
esoteric
challenge, isn't it?
issue.
Oh, it's
That's
a
right.
challenge.
You keep me lively. You keep me lively.
We'll definitely be engaged. We need the credit because we just can't possibly seem to do anything out of the box. So I think we've got to get the credit so we can keep
we love
asking
playing ball.
questions and
We love
keep
playing
doing
ball.
things, right? So yeah, we hope to always want to learn new stuff. So that's really fun. And just get more proficient at the way we manage our
Central
forms.
Flows V3.
Central Flows V3. I actually just talked to Mel this morning about a few little upgrades we'd like to do to our forms. So
Awesome. That's Lab 3 today, by the way.
Oh, sweet. Excellent.
So great to have you here.
Love
Preston,
being
are you here? Are you next? Is Preston next?
Nick is.
Nick.
Hi, all. My name is Niklesh Mane, and I work as a
computer program at Spindle Lab Center here in Beaumont, Texas. Regarding to the forms, I don't have formal experience working with the forms, and Kathy handles all of our form designs. And like Kathy mentioned, we've been using our form for a long time now. And the engagement preference from this lab is like to get credit. And I'm also excited to learn more about Qdabra tools, the connections, and how they connect to online and SQL and etc.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. Day two, SQL connections on day two. Via Hillary. Thanks, Nick, for being here. I'm really glad you joined. Never met you before. Is it
Thanks,
Nick,
Patrick.
N-I-C-K, or is it N-I-K?
Nikhileshmani. Nikhileshmani.
Awesome. Great.
And next we have Nima.
Nima, you're in Iran.
Hi everyone. Hi everyone. I'm Nima from Iran. I've designed many forms over past 10 years with InfoPass. Unfortunately, I've no experience working with Qdabra Form, but I hope to learn lots about it in this class.
Awesome. Thanks for being here. Really appreciate you could join, given the time difference. Thank you.
Thank you.
Next up is Preston. So Preston, you are live.
Hello, hello. So I'm from Central Illinois. I work with Misty at Impact Life Blood Center. I'm kind of newer to the company. I've been here for like a year. I've only made like 4 or 5 forms myself from scratch, but like she said, we have like hundreds of forms that we've made using InfoPath. So I am always learning a lot about that.
Wait, you're still using InfoPath? Come on.
Well, I mean, it's just
Well,
it's been around
we
over the
have
years.
to until we get those last few little things that
Which is
use
why
in our
we're
forms.
presenting today.
Okay, very good. We want to make the change, Patrick. We want to do
I know.
it. We talk
Thank you
about
for
it all the
pushing
time,
this.
and we're like,
We
just
there are
can't do
so
it
many
yet.
new features that Jimmy and his team
Awesome.
have added. It's really
Oh,
amazing.
that's great.
Okay. Awesome. Thanks, Preston. Sorry, Preston, I interrupted you.
Oh no, yeah, that's good. Yeah, I'm just here to soak in as much info as I can and try to get some of the support credits.
Credit. Okay, I'm writing all this down, so we are keeping track. Thanks for committing. And if you decide at 2 days in that you've got something really important to do, then feel free to back out. That's no big deal. Thanks for being here. Great to have you. Next.
Scott is next. Scott, shall I unmute you? Oh, you're there. Good.
I did it all by myself.
You did. You did a great job.
Okay, it's going to be one of those days. I'm in north of Albany, New York, working for the court system. I've probably designed a few forms on my own. Most of what I've been doing is converting forms designed by various other people.
Cool.
And yeah, I guess the court system may have been using Qdabra for a decade. We've only been at it for a year or two. And I guess I would go for the credit.
Awesome. Thanks.
And anything new that we can find out that'll make easier would be nice, but doing more things would be great.
Well, we're going to definitely do more things, and will be easier as well. So, but we'll ask you for your feedback at the end and all the way through. Thanks for joining. I really appreciate your time this week.
Wonderful.
Next.
And we've got Sharon, and that's I believe, the last on our list here.
Hi, I'm Sharon Garner from GDIT. I live close to Fort Myers, Florida. I work with the A team. That's Alex and Allie.
Double A.
I have not created any forms. We just procured Qdabra. I apologize for that nightmare. And I'm here to learn as much as possible about Qdabra. And I'd like to try to get credit, and I figure we need as much support as possible. And worst case scenario, I'll I'll copy off Allie's paper.
Well, it's great to have you here, and thanks for being the last one, waiting all that time. We're really excited, and we do this class, once or twice a year. This is the first time we're doing it in 2024. We've got so much to show you. There's 4 days. We're going to be showing you how to create new forms in FormsDesigner. That's today. And then we'll show you new FormsDesigner features, basically how to connect to SQL, how to authenticate your forms, and we'll show you how to use FormsDesigner more importantly. So these features are actually a kind of a window into how to create new forms without using InfoPath Designer. Misty, sorry. So we've even
Don't be
implemented
picking on me.
I'm sorry, I have to because you're so loyal to us and we love you. And then day 3, we're going to show you this really cool stuff we built over the last year and a half, which you really need to know about. So this is how to take your SharePoint site, if you have one, or your documents, it doesn't have to be SharePoint, and create a support portal. In fact, we're going to actually have you deploy this doc chat form. It's actually a form, so it's easy to deploy, and you'll be able to set it up on a new site and add some documents and chat with it and use the latest AI tools via your forms. And then we'll also show how to use it in our support portal on day 4. And we've got some other cool techniques, some new UI stuff that we've done this year, along with Microsoft's end of App Store conversions that we need to talk about. So the last lab on day 4 is going to be really important. So don't miss that, because Microsoft is, they always pull the rug out from under us a bit. We're on top of it. Jimmy's on top of it. We're going to be talking about what you need to do. We've already been talking about. We did a webinar in July about it. Nothing really big there. We have a solution, obviously. Microsoft's just moving authentication from SharePoint, Active Directory, to Entra ID, which is on Azure, and they've changed the App Store to go with that. So we have a new version of FormsDesigner 3.3 that's shipping next week. You're going to be using the test version, so you guys have the latest. Like, you're getting the preview forms your test. So Jimmy has created this whole environment for you on our site that gives you access to the latest and greatest stuff. You're going to see all these new features, and then we're going to launch it in a week or two. FormsDesigner is more feature-rich today than it ever has been. There's just we listened to your feedback. We add the support for creating new forms. We're going to talk about that next, and tons of other things. So I'm not going to go into detail here because we're strapped for time. Did everyone get access to the training site? I think we sent out email to everyone. Hillary did, actually. Hillary, thank you so much for doing all this pre-work. But we have a training site for you. It's all set up. You won't have to worry about anything. We've given you external access. I believe, Nima, you might be the last one to join, but did we get everyone joined, Hillary?
Well, I was still emailing back and forth with Heidi, who was having some troubles getting Authenticator set up when I invited her with her company app. I just tried inviting her with another with her company account. I just tried inviting her with a different account. If anybody is still having trouble accessing the training site, please make a note in chat, and when we get to the first lab, I will assist you if I can.
Thank you so much. So you can interrupt us anytime. You've got voice, obviously. We have a kind of a very structured approach to this training. We've been doing this for literally, I don't know, we've been doing training since 2008 or so. As a company, go back to that first slide here. We actually were a consulting partner for Microsoft for the first year or two, and we pivoted. And we had other customers besides just Microsoft. And then when Lehman Shock hit in 2007, 2008, we pivoted again to products and training. And we actually had a lot of training we were doing starting in 2009, 2010. So we've been doing training for a long time. And the point here is that we have to have a structure. We have to have it's kind of like life in general. You have to have a structure to your day. You have to have a structure to your week. And then you get stuff done, right? Obviously, coming up with ways to improve that structure are really important. But for this class, we've got 4 days. It's less than 4 hours a day, and each day is going to have less than 3 labs or so. I think we have a bonus lab on day 2, Hillary. I mean, we have 4 labs tomorrow. I forget. Is it 2, 3, or 4?
It's not really a lab. It's a quick demo. So you guys, I've got a few things that are in the works that I want to show you.
So each day, today was special because we did the intro, we did the overview. It's kind of lengthy at the start here, 30 minutes in. So we're doing actually okay. But in general, what it's going to be is we're going to have these modules. We're going to talk about different things. So on day 1 today, we're going to talk about creating new forms. Tomorrow, we're going to talk about the new Forms Designer features. On Thursday, we're going to talk about how you can actually deploy a support portal using this new AI tool that we've got, which is actually a form. So it's easy to deploy. And then on Friday, we'll talk about kind of miscellaneous stuff that you need to know about, new UI stuff that we've demoed over the last year, which is really cool. The App Store change, which you absolutely need to listen to. And then the support portal. We have a new support portal that we're launching that gives you access to a bunch of new features. And you can watch your usage. You can look at your support plan. You can actually chat and get information on documents and usage techniques using AI. And of course, we're here to help you as well. We can create a support ticket and you can send it to us. So that's day 4. Each day has a brief intro. Here's what we're going to do. Here are the labs. And then at the end of the labs, we summarize and get your takeaway. So each lab on each day has, why are we doing this lab? What's the value proposition? The person who's in charge will do a quick demo and show you the technique. We'll give you we'll do a more detailed walkthrough and show you how to implement the technique in your form, and which is essentially we're going to do the lab for you. We're going to show you how to do the lab. You'll do the lab to learn the technique, and then we'll chat about it at the end. And then we'll have a break, at minimum 10-minute break after every lab, so you can get coffee or whatever. Any questions on the training structure? Well, thank you all for creating the time at this very busy time of year to be with us. We're really appreciative of that. We kind of postponed this training a week or two, or actually, I guess it was 2 weeks later than we normally do it. And I realize how busy everyone is at this time of year. So thanks again for that. So today, we've got these 3 labs. We're going to talk about creating new forms using Forms Designer, creating a new form with smart validation, which is a very new technique. It's using AI. It's what is here. She's going to show you this stuff. It's going to completely blow your mind. And Mel's going to blow your mind again with the Central Flows workflow sample, which is going to show you the latest workflow form which we've got, which you can create from scratch. So these are all from scratch. Lab 1, 2, and 3 are all zero to finish. Nothing needed. Jimmy?
Yep. Hello, everyone. Welcome. I'm glad you're all here. So here I am for the first lab. And we're going to be starting off pretty simple, but with a brand new feature that we've added to Forms Designer this time around. It now supports adding new forms from scratch. So I'm going to walk you through how to do that, and then you're going to try it out for yourselves. So here I have the lab document. I think most you all have access to these as well.
Are you sharing?
Oh, yep. I'm not sharing it. Thank you.
I'll stop sharing.
Yep. Okay. So here is the lab document. I think you all have access to this. You can follow along as I go through it.
We should verify that they have access. Can you paste the link to that document into chat so they can all try that?
Yeah.
Thanks.
And Heidi is having trouble getting access still. So as soon as we reach a break or a lab, she and I are just going to do a quick screen share and get her squared away, hopefully.
Cool.
Okay, so in this lab, I'm going to talk to you about how to create a brand new form with Forms Designer. And then we're going to walk through how to add a couple of fields to it, specify their data types, how to then add those fields to the forms layout, to the view. And then at the very end, we'll just see what the form looks like when you actually launch it in Forms Viewer. So we're just going to start at the training site that we're using for this training session. On the left here, I think we're providing two ways to get to the forms, but on the left here, you can see this Qdabra Forms launcher. I've set up a link to a page where we have set up our sort of companion app. This is going to be the way to get into Forms Viewer when you actually set it up in your own environment. And we're going to talk a little bit later in this training course about the specifics of how to use this Forms launcher. But for now, we're just going to click this link here, which has been set up to open Forms Viewer. From there, we just go to Manage Templates and click Create a New Template. This is going to take us to a brand new page we've added, which allows you to make new templates. So for this one, we provide a couple of different form types for you to pick from. For this one, we're going to go with a blank form. And I think I mentioned how to specify the naming. Of course, in practice, the name can be anything you want, but we're going to go with D1 L1 dash your name. Okay, let's click Create. And here we are in Forms Designer with my new form. Okay, so first we're going to add some fields to hold the values that people enter into the form. So the place to add new fields is over here in the Data Fields pane. So you click on My Fields. This is sort of the root of the field hierarchy. Our forms allow you to have hierarchies several levels deep, so you can group related things together, keep things nice and organized. But for now, it just has the one group at the top. We're going to add all the fields directly to this group. So here in this drop-down, Add Field is already selected by default. So I just click the plus here and specify a name. And this is going to be a survey form. So we're going to be setting up some questions for you yourselves to answer. So this first one is going to be, how many forms have you created? So we'll just call it Forms Created. And that's going to be a text field. So just click Add. I'm going to do this four more times. The next one is, how long have you been using Qdabra Forms? So we're going to call this Qdabra Forms use time. Of course, there's nothing magical about these names. We're just trying to pick names that make sense for each of these fields. So this is going to be a text field as well. Actually, Forms Created was supposed to be a whole number field, but that's okay. It'll be a text field. Next one is, what do you hope to get out of this class? We'll call it Class Expectations. That's going to be text as well. The next question is, will you be able to attend all the classes? So we'll call this one Class Attend All. And for this one, it's going to be yes, no question. So the most appropriate data type for that is this true, false data type. So we'll pick that. And lastly, is the question, where are you? So we're going to call this location. Okay, and that's going to make text. All right, so we've added our 5 fields. You can see them nicely laid out here. I just added them to the list as I confirmed each one. And this, now that we've made some changes, it's a good time to save our progress. So just come up here and click the Save button, and it tells me when the last save was. Okay, so now it's time to add these fields to the form layout. So what I'm going to do for that is I'm going to come over here and click in this big empty space, which is our view. And we want to add a layout table. So we've got 5 questions, and we want a header. So we'll make it a height 6, width 1 table. Okay. That table is spanning across the whole page. So we want to make it a little more, a little nicer and easier to deal with. So let's just change this to, let's see, I'm just checking my notes. Okay, we want to make it 600 pixels wide. So we're just going to go here. I can't delete the whole number, so I'm just going to start type 60 and then sort of adjust the number. So we get 600 pixels width. So that's a little nicer width. And it's going to click here at the top, type training survey. The text is a little small here, so I will increase the size. Maybe make it bold. There we go. Okay. All right, so now it's time to actually add our fields. So I'm just going to type some text as a prompt for the user. So it's going to be, how many forms have you did? Okay, that's a label for the field. Then I'm just going to add a text field. The text fields are here under input, text box. And then it's going to prompt me to pick which field I want to bind the text box to. So that's going to be forms created. Okay. Next one is, how long have you been using Qdabra Forms? How long have you been using Qdabra? Good mark. Okay. That's also going to be a text box. Okay. The next one is, what are you hoping to get out of this class? Okay, one more text box. Okay. Will you be able to attend all 4 days? Okay, so this is a yes/no question. So the most appropriate control type for that is a checkbox. A radio box would also be good, but let's go with a checkbox. Okay, it's class attend all. And we can see here, the checkbox is of course on or off, but you can specify what the actual underlying values for it will be. Since we're using a true false field, true false are the values we want. So we'll leave those just as they are. And lastly, where are you located? Okay, that will also be a text box. All right, so I've added my fields to the canvas. Time to save again. All right, and now at the moment of truth, we come up to this menu here. We click open. And here's our brand new form rendering in Forms here. And I need to count. Well, I think it's something like 12 years, 15 years. All right. And there we have it. So that is how to create a brand new form from scratch. Add some fields and set them up in your view. And then you're good to go.
Thanks, Jimmy. Irina, you had a question? Your hand up?
No, sorry, it's my mouse somehow moved. How can I undo it?
Yeah, I think you did. I think you did.
I
No,
did?
it's still up. No, it's still up. But we'll just ignore it. Sorry.
Okay,
I
cool.
found out how to lower your hand for you. Teams let me do that. So yay, Teams.
Yeah, I mean, so
Thank you
we've had a lot of
guys. Sorry.
customers. Oh, you're very welcome. We've had everyone complain about, well, how can I create a new form? We also had to just start with the Forms Your new template. Just because we have an info path template that we have created over the years that you can just start with. But this, I think what Jimmy is showing today, the real cool thing about this is that you can actually create a new form from scratch. And we're going to show this again on in Lab 2 and Lab 3. And those forms, though, are pre-configured to give you other features, other valuable validations and workflow features. So any questions on Jimmy's demo?
Benjamin, did you have a
Y-
question?
Yes, I do actually. Thank you. This is kind of silly, but how do you delete a data field?
We don't have that yet. That's something we're working on in the near
Oh,
future.
okay. Okay. So, because I accidentally added an additional data field, so like it's just there, but you don't have to use it. Is that the?
I mean, yeah. In the long term, we definitely plan to have that feature. But for now, as far as this training goes, just leave it, or if it's it's not a big mistake, you can just use it as is.
Yeah, I think the historical significance of not really focusing on delete or not prioritizing that feature is that, let's say you create a form, right? And you have all these fields, and you just deploy that form and you publish it out and people fill it out. And you collect all this data, right? And now you go and delete the field that all that data was there for. Then you got a problem. And this is actually a bigger issue. So in general, our stance on deletion is just never do it. Always add. It's always better just to add, don't rename either, just add new fields. And that invariably leads to these data sources that can be quite convoluted, or what's the right word, Hillary? A mess. But so yeah, I mean, we need to support this, but there is a reason why it's not a high priority, and that is because deleting is bad in general, because all of those previously saved forms now have lost data, and that's called data loss, and that's a severe thing. So we don't like deletion in general, and that applies to SQL as well, because I mean, you can just mark it as deleted. You don't have to delete it though. So sorry to add on to that, but that's a great
Yeah.
question. Jimmy?
On that same note, another reason for not supporting deletion is that all of the dependencies within the form, not just the data that's been saved, but like the rules you've set up, fields that are bound to whatnot. If you delete a field, that can break things within the form's functionality. And so the actual process of removing a field from the data source is a very simple feature to implement, but taking into consideration all the implications of what happens when field is deleted, that's a lot more complicated.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I actually have another follow-up question to that really quick. So is it then possible to move a data field? Basically, what I did was I accidentally put a data field inside one of the other data fields. So like I put under Qdabra form time use, I accidentally put class expectations inside that. Is there possible to like move that up like so it's not nested anymore?
Yeah, what you've actually done there is created an attribute field, which is actually, it's like a child of another field. That's another, for very similar reasons. That's another thing we don't support yet, because moving things are, in this case, an attribute can't actually be changed. Even in InfoPath, you can't change an attribute field to be a non-attribute. So that would actually be a delete and re-add situation right there.
Yeah, just add another field, Benjamin.
Okay.
And you don't have to name it differently. I mean, you've really hit on a really important topic here, which is data source integrity. This was a huge issue with InfoPath as well, and I can't believe you just nailed this as the beginning of the call here, day one, lab one, because it is probably the most important limitation of these kinds of forms, and that is that they require a data source that doesn't change a lot. Because if it changes, then all the previously saved data is no longer readable, right? So this was a huge issue with InfoPath. I mean, I was the InfoPath, development manager through 2003, and this was the big issue, was what to do when things need to change. So in general, our approach is you just add, and then at some point there's a version change. So like individual ads, like if you have to add a new field, or if you don't like the field you've got, just go ahead and add a new field and just ignore that one. Just don't use it, right? And at some point you can do a version change. And we've talked about migration. So we actually had training on this probably a dozen years ago, where if you're going from one form version to another, we have like 3 different ways to do it. You can import the data, you can migrate the data. So we have ways to map old data to new data. But in general, you don't want to do that very frequently. So because it's some work. It's not a lot, but it's just you have to do the migration. But that keeps all of the old data then in the new format, the new schema, the new relationship, right? The other way to do it is just have a new form. Say, hey, this is V1 of the form, this is V2. And V2 has everything cleaned up. And then you can have mappings between V1 and V2. So we actually have done training on this over the years to show you how to map from old to new versions. And this is a major topic, but we're not going to cover this in today's or this week's training is not going to cover migration, but it's a great idea, it's a great concept, and we'd love to talk about it in the future. So please keep this in mind, because we are going to ask you for feedback at the end of the class. And if that's a big issue for you or anyone else here, then we'd love to hear about that. Any other questions? So at this point, we're going to share out the lab, the slide that shows you we're doing training. You're doing the training right now. And I think we have a slide for this. We did the demo. We're doing the lab. So Jimmy took about 10 minutes, I believe. We'll give you about 10 minutes to do the lab and take a break. And then we'll come back and get your feedback. And don't feel like you need to absolutely get it done in 10 minutes. Take your time. And we'll ping you again. If you have any questions, you can ping us in chat while we're taking the break. And then we're going to, after we get your feedback, come back. We're going to, in exactly 10 minutes from now, we're going to ask you for feedback. And then we'll start lab 2 if we don't have a lot of feedback, or after the feedback. Hillary, does that make sense?
Yes, it does. But I'm going to go ahead and just see if Heidi and I can get her authenticator issue worked out. But please, if you're having trouble with a lab, just chat it in Teams or feel free to interrupt. But Heidi is just still stuck on this authenticator issue.
Hi, this is Sharon. I actually did run into an issue. I just started it, and it's probably me being dumb, but I'm getting an invalid name for some reason.
Did you already add something named Can Attend All?
No, I didn't.
Do you have any spaces in it or something like that?
Nope. No.
Is there maybe a space at the beginning?
Just
I see your
check that.
screenshot. Yeah, I
yes,
see your
was.
screenshot. Was there a space at the beginning? Yeah,
There
good
was.
call, Jimmy.
That's it. Thank you.
Jimmy knows his stuff. No sneaky spaces at the beginning or end.
You guys are so
Got it,
fast,
thank
Hillary and
you.
Jimmy. Hillary and Jimmy got your back. But I mean, if we can have you share out too, that's just another option. We're more than happy to have you share your screen and debug this stuff, because it's not just for your benefit. I mean, everyone else is also going to get some insights here when we debug things. I like it when we have speed bumps and bugs, because we learn a lot of stuff. Sorry, Hillary, you're going to say something?
No, I really want to get Heidi access.
Go for it.
That's kind of my concern right now. So yeah, Heidi, if you want to share out.
Or you want me to go to incognito mode or just regular mode?
I think I want you to try incognito, because we're having so much trouble getting you authenticated. So yeah, if
Okay.
you'll just share out and open up an incognito window and go to the training site. Okay, so if you could just go ahead and close this tab and let's start fresh. Let's
Okay.
start fresh. And you'll just paste in that. Yeah. We'll hit enter. And okay, can you click ask later?
Yes.
Because we really don't care if you're using authenticator or not. All right, let's just do this for now.
Oh, that's all it took?
Right, was clicking the other button, but I'm the dodo who told you to click next. So you certainly shouldn't be like, oh, that's all it took. Because I was like, what happens if you click next? Because you sent me a screenshot. Did I read the buttons? No, I did not read the buttons. So now we're all set. You can
Thank you
rock
so
and
much.
roll. You
Thank
bet,
you.
Heidi.
I want to just make a point that dodos might have had a huge intellect. We don't know.
We have no clue. I'm going to presume they do.
Does
Thanks,
anyone else
Heidi.
have problems accessing the site that you just saw there from Heidi? Thanks, Heidi. If you can't access the site, please let us know.
And the other thing I wanted to go ahead and emphasize, I know you mentioned this when we were getting rolling, Patrick, but if you want to, if you're working towards credit, feel free to send me your proof of lab completion, your screenshots and whatever, and I've got a spreadsheet going, and I'll keep track of all that. So yeah, do feel free to just use me as your information clearinghouse.
Wow. Do you have like AIs there, your minions, Hillary? What's going on?
Yeah, get my AI minions to sort through this. No, it's literally just a matter of putting a tick in an Excel spreadsheet. So I think I'll be
So, I
okay
mean,
without Claude holding
I
my
was
hand.
just absolutely, I mean, I'm assuming everyone else is just doing the labs and just ignoring us talking here. But I want to just point out that we only had 2 people say they weren't going for credit. Actually 3. So Alex, the first person who came, he is observing. And then Heidi said she wasn't going for credit. And Nima, of course, because he's auditing. He's hoping to work at Qdabra. So yeah, so it's amazing that we have so many people going for it, which is awesome. Because we love to. These aren't hard. These labs are really not that hard, and we've tested and tested them. I'm sure you'll find bugs, but we have a question, Benjamin.
Yeah, sorry, I only caught the tail end of what Hillary was saying about submitting the screenshot. Do you want me to take a screenshot of the completed form or from the actual like?
Yeah, just drop me a screenshot of your completed form. I mean, also you
Okay.
guys are putting all this stuff up there on the training site, but if you guys and if you want to just wait until you're all done with day 1, and then send me a note letting me know you've completed all your day 1 labs, that would be great too. And but yeah, just keep me up to date on how you're doing on the labs, and of course, let us know if you get stuck.
Sure.
We do trust. Sorry, Benjamin.
Oh, sorry. Do you want me to like send that to you in like a personal Teams chat or right in the thing? Where do you want that? I guess
You can just send me an email.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay, perfect. Awesome.
Yeah,
Okay,
you've
thank
got my
you.
email address. Yeah, if everybody just wants to drop me an email with their
That's
day
crazy,
1,
Hillary.
and if
Wait,
you guys
you're
want
not asking for a fax? Come on.
if everybody just wants to fax me a screenshot that they take with their camera of their computer, that would be perfect. And
I'll take a picture with my phone
No,
of
so
my
here's the deal,
screen.
Benjamin. We trust you. If you got it done,
Okay.
you say you got it done, and we trust you.
Okay.
here's the thing is that I see that, and I'm sure everybody here who also supports users sees that, where you're working along and somebody says, hey, can you help me with this? And you realize they've taken a picture of their computer monitor with
Yeah.
their telephone, and you're like, oh, honey, bless
Yeah.
your heart.
You guys are both from Oregon, so I'm just gonna let you guys go for a second. Just kidding.
Oh,
How far is
you're in
Roseburg?
Oregon as well, Hillary. Okay, that's cool.
So okay, so anyone else with questions? We're here to help you through this. And I apologize for this form that you're creating, 5 fields. I mean, it's a huge form, not really, but you're gonna have to do this again in the next lab, and in the following lab. But this is really to kind of develop that muscle memory. We're trying to get you to learn FormsDesigner, and that a lot of it involves these kinetic exercises. So you can blame me for this because I actually made the decision to have you have the same 5 fields 3 times. So you'll get good at it, hopefully. And you can complain if you want at the end and say, this is just ridiculous. We shouldn't waste time. But it shouldn't take that much time. I think Jimmy's lab will take 10 minutes. So we got 5 more minutes or so, 3 more minutes. We'll take 5 more minutes and we'll just shut up now and let you continue focusing on that. And then we will come back at you soon. Thank you.
Hey, Hillary, are you there?
I am. Just lost my mute button. What's up,
I can't get
Buttercup?
authenticated with either LastPass or the Authenticator, Microsoft Authenticator app.
You can't get onto the training site?
I don't think so. I mean, no. I
Share out
cannot.
your screen. Now we had this is usually I'm like, this is the same thing we just had with Heidi. Can you okay, so if you and when you scanned the QR code, you were able to add Qdabra software?
Nope. Can't scan image.
You took a picture of this with your phone and you
Mm,
got
Let me
can't
try that.
scan image?
Hold on. Let me try that.
Or I'm sorry, Microsoft Authenticator app. So you open up your Authenticator app and then you scan the image.
It says no usable data found, so I do can't scan image.
Okay. And then you entered the code into your app.
Oh, authenticator.
I don't know what it wants you to do with that URL. It wants you to type
So
that in.
am I doing I do work or school account, right?
Mm-hmm. Don't you already have us in your
I
authenticator
do.
app?
That's why I don't. Yes.
Okay. Could you just click a plus? Click a plus, Misty. So sorry. Click a new tab here, as I use all my grown-up words at once, and paste in the URL to the training site.
What was the grown-up word? Plus?
It is for us.
I tell you.
That rhymes. That
There it
rhymes
is.
actually. Plus.
And there we go. And okay, next. I guess probably because you've been here before is why it requires this. And then, okay, next, because we've already got it. And okay, so we're gonna do add an account, worker school. Maybe if you've got an existing Qdabra software account, you could maybe delete it. But let's see, let's do next. Okay, and when you scan the QR code, you get an error in your app.
Yeah, so if I cancel out,
You do
and I do the little plus sign in the app, I get
worker
personal
school.
worker school.
So you do worker school, and
Scan
then you click on
code.
scan QR code.
Come on. Oh, of course, now it does it.
Oh, right, because I'm on the phone and I've made it afraid.
Jeez. Thanks, Hillary.
Yeah.
I
Well, you
literally
can
have been trying this since Jimmy started. This is
you
ridiculous.
can count on me to make the app afraid. That's what I'm here for.
That's excellent. That's all I needed.
Causing fear in the heart of apps.
Right there it goes.
Yay! All is well. All is well. If anybody else needs an app frightened, just let me know. That's what I'm here for. All right, cool.
Hillary saves the day as usual. Thank you.
Of course, once again.
Okay.
I'll try not to let it swell my head. All right, thanks.
Perfect.
Wow, that's amazing. Okay, does anyone have any questions on the lab? Does anyone have any issues with access? We are going to be starting lab 2. Is everyone ready? We are recording still. Hopefully, does anyone need more time for a break? Benjamin is thumbing us up. Awesome, Benjamin. And I'm going to share my screen again, and we're going to go to the next slide, which is Lab 2. And we're going to ask Sweta to, well, first, let's just ask again. Does, speak now or forever hold your peace? Truth? That's the right way of saying that.
I would like have more time. Maybe another 5 minutes.
Okay, yeah, thanks, Maria, for saying that. So we're going to do 5 more minutes. Does anyone else need, well, more than 5 minutes? So we'll come back in 5 minutes. Thanks, Serena. We'll come back in at 8:18 Eastern, and we'll start this lab 2. We'll also ask again for questions on lab 1, and we're going to have a summary at the end of day 1 here and talk about highlights. You don't have to finish the lab in the allotted time. You can do it after class, next week, whatever. We give you until January 15th or so to finish the labs for credit. But it is great if you can do it, because that's really, you have us here to answer any questions, obviously, support. You can give us a hard time if you found a bug. We'd love to hear from you. So anyone else have any issues right now with Lab 1? Access. It's been amazingly quiet. I mean, I'm surprised that we only had 2 issues with Heidi and Misty. Nima, have you had access? Are you able to do the labs?
Yeah, Nima already finished the lab and sent me a screenshot.
Wow, that's smoking. The guy has InfoPath. He has forms experience. which is why I asked him to join. So glad to hear that, Nima. Way to go. Anyone else? Or did you get any other screenshots?
Yeah, Evan finished and Heidi finished and
Wow, you're getting a lot of
I've
attention.
got some others, yeah.
Sweet. So we'll just be quiet here for another few minutes and then we'll ping again. Thanks for being here. Okay, Irina, was that enough time?
I think I'm fine. Yeah, we can continue. Thank you so much for extra
Sure.
time.
No problem. Thanks for pointing that out. Love your feedback. Please say that again if you need it. Okay. We're going to transition to lab to date. I'm sorry, to the next lab, which is really cool. So Jimmy kind of got us going with this initial creating a form from scratch, and now we're going to show you how to create two new forms that have extra features built in. So trying to save you time. So extra validation is the next big feature, the next big lab, and extra workflow. Actually, adding workflow is what Mel's going to show after that. And I'm thrilled to introduce Sweta Powdell, who's been with us now for 1 year, and I want to say, hold on, let me do the math. Sweta, 7 months? No, 8 months.
Yeah.
Is that correct?
Yeah.
So Sweta is one of our elite engineers from Kathmandu, Nepal. She's actually not in Kathmandu today, but we've been really thrilled to have the opportunity to work with her over the last year and 8 months. There's just so many talented people in the world, and Sweta has done some amazing things while working here, and we're just absolutely thrilled to have her presenting this lab to you. today. It's just so intense. This first lab was kind of like, well, a slow ramp. Very important. You got to start slow because you don't want to freak people out. But now you've moved into the what's the right word here? So it has like I don't know what the right metaphor here, Hillary, is, but it's kind of like driving a Mustang versus a Tesla. Now, I have nothing against Mustangs. In fact, I love American cars in general, and Tesla is also an American car. But the minute my wife bought a Tesla and I drove it once, I couldn't go back to the other cars. It was just so fast. It's like, what the heck? I thought this was electric. So this is kind of like the transition that you're going to experience from Jimmy's lab to Swetta's lab. Just not to Jimmy's driving a Porsche 911 turbo for sure, but Swetta's got like what are you driving, Swetta? Like, what's your metaphor for this lab?
Yeah, so this lab is going to be a little lengthy, and I'll help as much as I can. I'll guide everyone through this lab, and this is going to be a fun ride with the latest AI features.
But which car are you driving? Like, are you a Ferrari or what are you driving?
No, I don't drive.
Spaceship. Okay. All right. Sorry. I will let you take it from here. I'm going to shut up. Sorry for giving you the long intro, but really happy that you're doing this. And are you ready to start sharing? Do you want to talk about these two slides first?
Yeah, sure. Hello, everyone, and thank you, Patrick, for the intro. So in this lab, we are going to focus on implementing smart validation features in Qdabra Forms to enhance survey form that we are going to create from scratch. And as we all know that effective validation plays a very important role in ensuring data quality, improving user experience, as well as preventing errors. So we'll cover everything from creating a form from scratch, setting up the chatbot, adding API keys, setting up LLM models, and adding some validation rules for semantic document and autofill. And by the end of the lab, you'll be able to test, verify, and deliver a well-validated and fully functional form. So I'm going to share my screen. Shall I, Patrick?
Absolutely. Does anyone need a break before we start? This is going to be a 30-minute ride.
Yeah.
I need a break. I need a break.
All right.
Sorry, guys.
It's okay. We'll take another 5-minute break. Thanks, Serena.
Thank you.
1, 2, 3. We'll go to 128 and then we'll start. That's what you're sharing, right?
Yeah.
Thank you, guys.
So while we're waiting, I have a quick question about the AI component of the form. And so what are you using in the back end as an AI model or AI service?
Yeah, sorry, Sweta. Let me just quickly jump in here. So we support the top 4, Gemini, Claude, OpenAI, and what's it? We support Meta. Do we have Meta in the list?
Llama. Meta is a Llama.
Llama, right? Yeah. Sorry. I think that we also so Llama is on-prem. So if you need on-prem, I think that's why we support Llama and we also support Milvus for the embedding database. And I know Alex, you're at New York State Courts, right? I'm sorry, you're GDIT, which is I think in New York State. So yeah, I mean we have an on-prem model, but the pace of evolution of this stuff is so fast that we've been focusing more on the online stuff.
No, yeah, it's understandable, and I'm asking for online for online stuff. Yeah, you're right. So if you want to, because to host your own model first and foremost, it will require the immense amount of computing resources. Just
Not really. Actually, now you can do
it depends. Like,
GPT-4
right,
on
if
your
it's
Mac.
the smaller one, yeah, the smaller one, you probably can set it up. Yes. And again, it also depends on the purpose, right? And the scope, and the need, so to speak. But if you want to have fully blown, yeah, it will take some resources. Yeah, the 4 at least the Azure AI OpenAI 4.0a mini, yeah, that one doesn't really require much. And there is also other open source language models that you probably can get that hosted. Okay, so
Yeah,
there was
that's a
just
great question. Thanks for filling the time here while people take breaks. I just make a few more comments here on your question. I really appreciate you asking it. So we've been working with these models now for a year and 7 months. So like literally in May of 2000, well, in April of 2023, we hired Sweta and a team of developers in Nepal to work on AI prototypes because we wanted to help our customers move forward. And we've explored so many crevices in this whole story. But I think that what's really amazing is how fast it's moving. And it's just like other things out there. There are these hype cycles, but in the AI situation, it's like there are these cycles where people are saying, "Oh no, it's gone, it's done, hype cycle's over," and then all of a sudden you get a whole new release of something. So this week we're getting a whole new release of things from OpenAI. We got the quantum computer from Google yesterday or today.
Yeah, that was amazing. What this capable of doing.
Yeah, I mean,
if you can compare it to the universe, the size of the universe, like it can be done in half an hour.
I want to believe. I really do. Of course, all our secure tokens will be gone, but whatever. Yeah. So what we've learned in this journey, and we've learned a lot, and Sweta, is one of the key AI developers that we've had here. We're running through this amazing odyssey, and what we've learned though is that things change, right? So we have to support all the models, right? We have to try to support them all. Now, the problem right now is you're going to see this on day 3, because QDoc Chat, which is this really cool feature, this form basically you can add to your site, is using the OpenAI assistant model. And we have a huge test bench that we built on top of all this stuff. And are we running out of time? Sorry. Okay. Thanks, Hillary, for saying that. Yeah, so OpenAI is also Copilot, but Microsoft's implementation is slightly different as well. And we don't support Copilot in the dropdown that you're going to see on day 3. So actually Sweta might show this dropdown too. So Sweta, I should just have you start again. Irina, are you back?
Yes, thank you. I'm back.
Awesome. Okay, let's go, Sweta, sorry.
Yep, sure. Okay, so we are on the training site here, and I'm going to open the lab for day 1 lab 2. So here's the lab, and now we'll go through each section of the lab one by one. So the first is the prerequisites. So if you are going to test your lab, the lab 2 on your site, we have to meet certain criteria. So the first thing is you have to have a config form uploaded to the forms viewer of the same site. So this is the manage template section of the training site, and I have already added this QForm chat validation config. This is a different template from what we are going to create. And the next prerequisite is to have 2 libraries present on the same site, QForm chat config and QForm chat form details, which I have created. So you can see here QForm chat config and form details. So let's move on to the lab.
Does everyone need to create a separate? Can they add their forms to that, or do they have to create separate libraries?
They have to create separate libraries on their site. But for training, since I've already added here, they can use this. They don't have to add anything extra here.
This is only if they're using their
Yeah,
own, if they're going to
on
deploy
site.
this to their own site. Okay, got it.
Yeah. So let's move on to the next section. It says we are going to create a new validation template. So we have a link here, and this directs me to the training homepage, and click on this Qdabra form launcher. And there is a link here to open forms viewer. I'm going to click that and then click on manage templates. Now click on create a new template button here. And we have a drop down here. I'm going to select smart validation form QForm chat from the drop down. And for the template name, I'm going to provide a day one lab 2 dash and name. So you can provide day one lab 2 dash your name and click on create button.
It's really important that you add your name at the end, otherwise you'll be overwriting other people's labs.
Yeah, so we have this template open in the forms designer, and we, as you can see here, we have this QForm chat label and some logo here. This is from the XTP, so we have already added an XTP here. So this is the first
Can you
section
explain what XTP is for the people who don't know?
Yeah, so it is XTP is a template part that you can add to your form. You can add using InfoPath designers, and the forms designer also support adding QForm chat XTP from designer. And this way you don't have to manually configure everything from scratch. So you'll simply follow few steps, and it will add the views and all the Q rules to your form. So we are, I think, done with the first section of adding a new validation template here. Now let's move on to the next section, that is add new fields. Now I'm going to add the same fields that Jimmy added in the lab one. So you have to repeat for a few of the fields. So please select this my field group and click on add fields. The first would be forms created. The data type, I'm going to select whole number because this is the number of the forms created, and click on add. Now I'm going to add second field, that is Qdabra forms use time, and this would be a text field. And the third field will be class expectations. This is also a text data type, and the fourth would be can attend all. These are basically the fields that you created in your lab one. So this will be true or false boolean. This will hold boolean values. And the fourth would be location, and the data type is text. So we have created the fields that was in the lab one as well. Now we are going to add some extra fields under this. So please select add group here, and I'm going to call this as feedback. Now select the feedback, and under this I'm going to create a repeating group. So from the drop down, select add group, click on this plus icon, select the repeating checkbox and add daily feedback. Okay. So if you expand this feedback, you will see daily feedback under this, and there is an inverted icon over there that says that this is a repeating group. Now let's go back to the lab. Okay, so we added this, we added a group with feedbacks. Now we are going to add few more fields under this daily feedback section. So I'm going to select daily feedback and add some fields. So the first field will be day number. Since this is a number, so I'm going to change the data type to whole number and click on add. So if I expand this, you can see day number under daily feedback. Now let's add another field called feedback text. Okay, since this is a text, I'm going to keep the data type as text. And let's add another field. So add field and click on this plus icon. Now I'm going to add ratings. Please change the data type to whole number. And after this, I'm going to add highlights, and the data type would be text. Okay, so this is the data structure of our lab, of our survey form. And after this section, we will move on to adding our fields to the view in this canvas in the Forms Designer. So to add all these fields to the view, we are going to first create a custom table. So click on this and select 8:1 because we'll have 8 fields including the table header and submit button as well. So click on 8:1. Now we have a table here. I'm also going to decrease the width to 600 pixels. Okay, so we have this table here. Now click on the first row and let's give it a header called survey form. To make this beautiful, I'm going to change the font size, align at the center and make it bold. Okay, so we have the header here. Now click on this next row of the table, and now we'll be adding the header here as well. So how many forms have you created? The steps are basically the same that you did in lab 1. So hit enter, add a text box here for forms created. Okay, I'm going to add some margins over here to have a UI better. And after this, we have how long have you been using Qdabra Forms? Okay, let's change the font to 12, enter, and this would be a text box here as well. Change the margins top and bottom. Now for the next is class expectations. So what are you hoping to get of this class? And let's change the font to 12 and hit enter. For this as well, we will have a text box. So select the class expectations and done. Change the margin top and bottom to 10 to have some gaps. And after this, we have can attend all fields. So for this, the label would be, can you attend all the classes? Change the font to 12. Now for this, we will have a checkbox. I'm going to select can attend all from the data field pane. Click done. So we have a checkbox here. Now let's move to the other row of the table. And for this is for location field. So let's say, where are you located? Change this to 12 and hit enter. For this, I'm going to add text box, select location and done. And change the margins as well. Okay. So we have added the fields. This is the repeated section of day 1 lab. Now we are going to add this extra fields that we created for lab 2. So go on to the second last row of the table and provide a header. Let's say your daily feedback. Okay, I'm going to increase the size to 12. Text align center and make it bold. Hit enter. Now what we have to do is we have to add a repeating section because we'll have to insert items for each day number. So we have this repeating section at the top. I'm going to click on this repeating section and select daily feedback and click on done. So you will see a repeating section here. Now under this daily feedback, we have 4 fields. So based on that, I'm going to create another table of 4:1. So for each field, we'll have 1 row. So click on the first row and let's provide label as day. I'm going to increase the font to 12. And then for day, I'm going to add a drop down list. So select the drop down from the top control section and then select here the drop day number and click on done. We have a drop down list appear here. I'm going to set the width to 20% and also add margins top and bottom. Now what we have to do is we have to set some static values for the drop down. So click on this edit icon from the edit choices and we can add some options here. So the first would be default. So I'm going to place select with no values and click on add new. The next would be, since today is the starting date Tuesday, display name is Tuesday, value would be 1, add new, Wednesday, display value would be 2, add new, and next is Thursday, display value would be 3, and next is Friday, the last day would be 4, and we are done. So click on this done button. Now after this we need to add this feedback text. So for this please provide feedback or suggestions to help us improve. You can add any text you like here, the label. So I'm going to increase the font to 12, hit enter. And for this, I'm going to add a text box. Select the feedback text from the data field pane and hit done. And for this as well, let's change the margin top and bottom to 10 pixels. Now after this, we have this ratings field, and I'm going to copy the ratings label from the lab. It's a bit long, so that would be easy. So here is this rating label. So I'm going to copy this and place it over here. So let's fix the spacing here. Okay. Now I'm going to increase the size to 12, hit enter. For this, I'm going to add a drop down as well. So click on the drop down list from the control panel. The text, the data field will get highlighted. Click on ratings and done. So change the width to 20 for this as well. Add margins top and bottom and edit choices. So for this we'll have 5 options from 1 to 5. So select add new, select add the placeholder with no values and then click on add new. Display would be 1, value is also 1, next is 2, then we have 3 and 4, and finally we have 5. Okay, so we have added this. Now the last field is highlights. So for highlights, please provide your highlights of the day. Change the font to 12, and this is also a text field, so I'm going to select text box, select highlights and done. So let's add some margins here as well. Okay, so we have included all the data fields here to our form. Now the final step is to add a button here. to submit the form. So click on this button control panel, and you'll get the button at the last row of the table. I'm going to align this to the center and change the label to submit. Okay. Now please save the form to be on safe side. Okay. And let's see the lab again. So we have reached, we have completed the section 2 of our lab. Now the next step is to add validation and autofill rules. So we need to go back to the designer. Now we are going to add some rules over here. So first let's add a validation rule. I'm going to select this submit button. There is a rule button at the top right in control properties. So click on rules, and I'm going to add action rule here. Please provide the name as validation. And there is a add drop down next to run these actions. Click on select a field value and click on this icon to select the field. I'm going to select XTP logic queue form chat secondary and expand actions, initiate validation, and select trigger initiate validation. Click on OK. And I'm going to set the value as go with the quotes being there. Okay, so we have added validation rule. Now the next is autofill. So what autofill basically does is when you provide any value to this feedback text box, let's say I really enjoyed this lab session. So the LLM will automatically generate the rating for you. So it will categorize the feedback and provide 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, any one of the value. So for that, we need to select the source field. So our source field is feedback or suggestion, and click on this rules button, and similarly add an action rule here. Let's say this as autofill. And for this, we have to set a field value here again, and go to XTP logic queue form chat actions, initiate autofill. We need to set some values to this field. So let's start with field value. Click on OK. And for the value, I'm going to remove this quotes. Click on field or insert field or group and select feedback text and OK. So a dot will appear here, and click on OK. Now let's add another field here. So let's select queue form chat XTP actions, initiate autofill. Is autofill filled? So this would be set to true. Okay. Now again repeat the steps, set a field value. There's an icon over here. Go to queue form chat XTP actions and initiate autofill. Then we have field XPath here. So for field XPath, what we are going to do is we are going to simply copy the field XPath here. So click on feedback text. You'll see a copy XPath button here. So click on that, and the XPath for this field will get copied. And go back to the rules here and just Control V here. So you'll see the XPath, my fields, feedback, daily feedback, and feedback text. This is the XPath. Now after this, we need to set, I guess, one more. So XTP logic queue form chat, initiate autofill. So the final is trigger initiate autofill. That would trigger the autofill feature. So I think we are done with this. Now let's save the form again. Okay, let's see our lab. We are done with adding the validation and autofill rules. Now let's move on to the next section, that is adding the config feature, adding the config form. So we need to set up a config form for this. Now let's open the form in the forms viewer. Okay, so this is our form that we just created. There is a chat icon at the bottom right of the form, and if you click on this icon, you'll see a chatbot here. Now the chatbot says the config form has not been set up. Please add the config form. And if you notice here, the text box and the send button both are disabled, so we cannot actually use any of the feature unless we set up the config form. So to access the config form, click on the Q icon on the chatbot, and we will get directed to this validation config form. There you will see template name. So I have the same template name that my form has. So day one lab 2 Sweta. Now for setting up the config form, we need to copy the API key. So I have added API key in the lab as well. So let's just copy this. I'm going to paste in a document. Yeah. So I'm not able to copy this. Let's try again.
Is that really June 20th? I thought they had a 10/22 release.
Yeah, so the latest release Claude model, I think it does not support prompt caching that we are using. That's the latest update on QForm chat.
Okay.
So yeah, so this is the API key I have added here, and I'm going to select 2024-0620 model Claude 3.5 Sonnet. This is the second last value here. And after this, we are going to add some values over the different section of this form. So let's expand the semantic validation. And for this semantic validation, I'm going to choose a few fields from this data field. So let's add semantic validation for location. So copy the XPath and go back to the config form, click here and select field to self. Now click on this plus icon here, and we can add location, and we can add another config semantic validation for feedback text here. So I'm going to copy the XPath and paste it over here. So this is also going to be field to self validation. Now click on plus icon here and go back to the form. And the last form I would like to have semantically validated is the highlights. So copy the XPath and paste it over here and select field to self. So we are done with semantic validation. The next is document validation. It is really important for forms that have compliance document or any policy document. So it will our QForm chat will validate a field value based on some document. So I'm going to select class expectation. So copy XPath here and paste it over here. Now I have added a document, PDF document to the same lab. If you go here, day one, lab 2. So there is a lab called general guidelines .pdf. So I'm going to upload it over here. I already should have this here. Okay, so general guidelines, and we are going to add some instructions over here. So I'm going to copy the instructions. Okay, so here's the instructions. Yeah. Now, after the document validation, we are going to add rules for the autofill. So as I mentioned earlier, we are going to autofill ratings based on feedback text. So I'm going to copy the feedback text XTP here for the source XPath, and our destination value would be ratings. So copy the XPath for the ratings and paste it over here. And we need to provide instructions so that LLM can understand what it has to do. So I have instructions in my lab. So I'm going to copy and add it over here. Now I'm going to submit this config form. Okay, so it says API key is incorrect. Yeah, I was hoping to get this error. Maybe I missed something when copying this API key. So what I will do is I have another template created over here.
You just copied it from the document, so other people are going to have to do the same thing. They're not going to be able to go to your other template.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah. So we have to be a bit careful when we are adding the API key, because when adding the document API key to the document, we have some extra spaces over there. I'm going to paste the API key to the the chat section as well, so that would be easy for them.
I see. The API key should be good for a few more days. We're going, well, we'll definitely keep it good for you until January 15th if you need it. But, there is a concern here because we don't want to get billed. We don't want to have someone take the API key and try to create, I don't know. I mean, these API keys, they charge us money every time you run them. They're very inexpensive, but we probably won't have it on next week unless you ask us, and then we'll give you a separate key that will be different.
Yeah, so we have successfully submitted the config form. Click on OK. Now we need to go back to the form, reload this. Okay, now let's open the chatbot, and you can see the intro text has changed. Hi, I am here to help you with the form. Now let's test this if this is working. So I'm going to ask, what is the form about? Okay, so it says this form is about collecting feedbacks and information for a class or training session, and it includes section for class expectation, attendance. So it gave me a brief description of our survey form. Now I'm going to fill out some values here. So for how many forms have you created? Let's say 2. How long have you been using Qdabra Forms? Since 2020. And what are you hoping to get out of this class? I want to learn everything.
Okay. Getting married. I thought you were going to get married.
Yeah, let's try that. I want to get married by
You gotta test it, right?
end of this class. Okay. Which I'm not.
Has he proposed? Has he proposed, or she, or whoever?
No, not yet. Next is, can you attend all classes? So it's checkbox. Now where are you located? The sky is blue today. Now for the day, I'm going to select Tuesday, and we have please provide feedback or suggestion to help us improve. So I'm going to say I really like day 1, lab 1. The lab was short and sweet. Okay, so I'm going to hit the tab key over here, and you'll see a loading icon here that says that the autofill feature is being ran here. So based on our feedback, the LLM generated a rating for us. So it gave 4. 4 means it is good. So this is our autofill feature we can use for any types of fill in our form. Now, next is please provide your highlights of the day. I'm going to say my favorite food is ramen. Now I'm going to hit this submit button and try to submit the form. Okay, so I got some message over here in the chat bot. It says class expectations should focus on learning outcomes, not personal matters. And location should be a place, not a weather description. And highlights should be related to trainings and not personal preferences. So this was our validation feature. Now we have one more extra feature that is called support feature. So this chatbot is not just limited to validation. We can also chat with the chatbot to update the values or to ask for some value suggestions. So I'm going to ask, can you please provide me some examples for class expectations? Okay, so it gave me some example here. Let's see. The first example is learn to create basic info path forms and understand. The second is understand how to use data connections, master publishing techniques, improve skills for forms. So these are basically related to forms, Qdabra forms, info path forms. So the chatbot wants us to have class expectations similar to these examples. Now I'm going to say, can you please replace the fifth example to the class expectation field? This support feature is quite handy when you have forms with different tabs. So when you get some validation errors, you don't have to switch to different sections of the form and manually update. You can use the chatbot. So it updated the value learn best practices for forms design for our class expectations. Now I'm going to update. Please change the location to Nepal. Okay, so we got Nepal here as well. And for highlights of the day, I'm going to say I really enjoyed all the labs, especially lab 1 related to forms creation. Something like this, and let's click on the submit button again. Okay, so we got message here, all validation successfully passed. And yeah, this is our QForm chat that helps us validate, autofill, and also provide support for your forms.
Yeah,
Yeah,
amazing demo. So I mean, I just to kind of summarize for folks. I mean, we had these new form options. We showed you the blank forms, and we showed that earlier. Very simple, and we're giving you this blank validation form. Now, obviously, there's some configuration, but I think you completed this in about 35 minutes. So
yeah,
it's pretty fast. So it's not hard to do, and you get these advanced techniques. Now, obviously, we have other kinds of validations you can do. This AI validation is really dynamic. It's very flexible, um, and I think it's inspiring to think about how you can reimagine parts of your forms to use this. And that's kind of why we wanted to present it, was also to show you a more complex Forms Designer new form example. Now, Mel's going to show another one after this, and it won't be quite as complex as what Sweta demoed, but I hope that, I don't know how many people we lost, but I hope you were able to follow along with what she did. Obviously, it's on the lab as well. Yeah, so Sweta, any other final comments on this?
Yeah, I think this is really an important feature for forms, because this will maintain data integrity as well as user experience. So user won't be able to enter some random values, and this would be handy for users, new users who are new to the form. Yeah.
I mean, the AI stuff really, I mean, we can always do validation, but doing semantic validation is really hard with InfoPath or with Qdabra Forms before this, because you couldn't have a rule that would say, check the value and make sure it's valid. So this is a whole new category of features for validation that she's showing. And it's not just field-to-field validation with semantic validation. It's also these more complex things where you can add a compliance document or a set of documents, and you can make sure they fill out the form based on that, and provide feedback to them. You can automatically fill in fields from other fields based on prompts to the LLM, to the large language model, and you can provide this support, this concierge, to help them fill the form out. So this is really I think a huge addition to forms. Obviously, this is just one thing that we're showing this week. We have a lot of really cool things. Any comments or questions on this? So this lab is going to take, I think, at least 30 minutes to do. Please chat in Teams when you finish the lab, so that Hillary has an idea of where people are at. And if you have any issues, please chat in Teams. Also, you can speak up, and Sweta and Hillary will be here to help you. I'm in Japan. It's obviously getting late here. It's 2 a.m. So I'm going to be logging off here soon. After we finish the lab, which is in 30 minutes, and we finish a break, or so, then Mel will do the final lab for today. And then after that, please stick around, because we want to get your feedback for day one. Hillary's going to be here to capture that and ask any questions for feedback.
And also at the
yeah.
end of class today, I want to make sure that for everybody who we weren't able to get authenticators set up for, not for the training site, but for the support portal and the authenticator XTP we're going to be going through tomorrow. So yeah, hang out. Let's make sure everybody's ready to go for tomorrow.
And you've got, you can share the screen for the slides, Hillary. Appreciate you doing that.
Yep, I'm just getting ready to do that now.
Awesome. Before I go, any questions or comments or feedback for me before I go? I'll be on tomorrow for the first couple hours as well. Look forward to seeing you all here again. Did this make sense, Arena? Lab 2? I'm just picking on you, if you're still there.
Are you asking me?
I am.
Oh, I missed my name. Yeah, makes sense. Yeah. It looks like tough lab, but
I
I
mean,
think
she's
we can
driving
make it.
she's driving a plaid model. Was it Tesla S or whatever, Bugatti, whatever you want to call it? She's on a spaceship to Mars. It's really going from a very simple lab to a very complex, powerful one. Blast off. I know it's exciting. It's fun. It's we warmed you up a little bit, but this is
Looking
the good stuff.
forward, yeah.
And Mel's going to have some more good stuff for you. It's not going to be quite as crazy, but I think, Mel, you're going from Mars to the asteroid belt, right? Okay, I'm going to log off here and go to bed. I hope you guys all have a great day. You're in good hands with Hillary. What an awesome job on that demo. Amazing job. And I look forward to seeing everyone here tomorrow. Have a great lab. Please try to get this lab done. Ask Sweta questions if you have them. Hillary and Sweta are here to help you. And then I'd love to talk about how it went tomorrow. Thanks,
Thanks,
everyone.
Patrick. Get some
Sure.
rest, and we'll talk to you tomorrow.
Bye.
Thank you. Talk to you
Thank
tomorrow.
you, Rita. Cheers.
Bye.
All right, so like Patrick mentioned, we expect this lab is going to take a little time. And of course, you know, you might not be able to complete it today or during class. That's perfectly fine. Just do what you can. Holler if you have questions. We're here if you need us.
Are you going to post the lab link? Because I don't see it.
Oh, I'm sorry. We've got those in the training site. Let me get to that real quick. As soon as I figure out how PowerPoint works, y'all are stuck with a subpar PowerPoint user now. Let me go here. And so from our training home site that you guys have access to, you can see down in the documents, we've got all the days labs. We are on lab 2, and this is the guy. I'll copy the link though, and I'll paste it in the chat. This way you guys know where to find everything though.
Can you show it one more time how you get there, because my screen was covered?
Sure, you bet. So here's the training site that I gave everybody access to, Qdabra Forms Training 2024 to 12. And then we start here. Let me get back. You'll see there's a little, if you scroll down, there's a little web part to the documents library where we have everything. So we're on day 1, right? Which is confusing because I think of day 1 as Monday. We're on lab 2. And here is Sweda's PDF of her lab. So you can just click that. But thank you for the good point about adding it to the chat. I also put it into chat for you guys, so it's a little easier to find. Make sense?
Sounds good. Thank you so much. Yes.
Oh, you're so welcome. Hi, Chris. I got your screenshot. I see. All right, let's have you share out.
I
And
don't
Benjamin,
like to share.
well, you're gonna have to. I'm not.
Oh.
I'll only help you if you will share. And Benjamin, I see you've got your hand up too. So let's take care of Chris first, and then we'll get to Benjamin. Okay, so click somewhere.
I click there.
Okay.
And then I come over here and I go drop down.
Okay, try clicking over there again. It's like losing your click, isn't it? You can see.
Yeah, well, and I tried it other places too. I'm like, oh, maybe it's just being funky in the.
Hey, do me a favor. Hit the save button and refresh.
I did. If you
Oh,
noticed,
you
like I
did.
just
Yeah,
did
I
it.
see
I'm
the
like,
saved. Yeah, I see the saved. Jimmy, any suggestions on this?
I had the same issue on mine for the
Did
last
you?
lap. The
And did you
last
get
lap. I haven't had it
on
for
the
this one.
last lap? You haven't had it on this one?
Yeah,
I
when you
did
try when
too.
you try to type, it's like one letter, then it goes away. Then you gotta click in there again, another letter.
I had to save, get out, and get back in for it to start working again.
Oh, you actually had to go to manage templates and come back in?
Yep. Yeah.
Thank you, Misty. Let's try that. Back we go. And now let's try again. I like it when third try is a charm. Yeah. All right. Now we know the secret.
It's ratings.
I think that refreshing might have helped. Did you actually refresh, Chris?
I did. I know I saved. I don't know if I did a refresh. Yeah, it may have, like you said, it may have just timed out.
Yeah, I did refresh and that didn't work for me. It still was kind of glitchy. So, but once I got back in, then it was fine.
It probably just timed out because we've been in. I've been in here for a while, so just I don't know, lost connection.
All's well now. We had Jimmy unmute, so it all started working. Okay, and Benjamin, you've got your hand up.
Yes, so I'm at the Qforms validation config and I've got it all filled out, but when I go to submit, it tells me, please check the highlighted fields. It's either empty or contains the incorrect XPath. I went back and recopied all my XPaths in there and it's still giving me the same error.
You want to share out and we can have Sway to take a quick look?
Yeah.
Okay.
So and it's like showing for like all the XPaths are showing the highlighted errors here.
Can you please go back to the Forms Designer?
Sure. Oh, the share thing here is in my way. There we go.
Okay, so you have ratings and feedback text. Please copy the XPath again and place it over to the validation section. Yeah. Can you please hit the tab button there? Yep. And then select the ratings. Copy the XPath for ratings as well. Okay, and maybe try to submit again. Yeah, I'll have to check the your form. So can you please provide the name? It says
It should be under Benjamin Kraus Delbert.
yeah, just a second.
All right, and while sort of taking a quick look at that, Bob, what was your question?
I downloaded the general guidelines, but it looks different than the one. And if you open up general guidelines, it's a different PDF. There's no instructions in it or anything.
Oh, did you try though the one that has the implement a form of smart validation PDF, the one that says day 1 L2 on it?
Yeah, day 1 L2. Or it's D1 L2. What, the one that you put in the chat, you mean?
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
Yeah, no, that's the instructions, isn't it? Yeah.
Right. Okay. And
I have
then
the
I'm sorry,
instructions, but then there's
the
it
general
says
guidelines.
check the entire general guidelines document, including all examples. And their general guidelines document that's out there, it's just like purpose, be specific and practical.
Uh-huh.
I don't know. See any instructions in there? Maybe I'm missing something.
I see. Sort of what the general guidelines were just intended as some additional guidance to them as they're going through the
So
instructions.
yeah, the general guidelines is for document validation that I
Right.
showed earlier for class expectations. So you'll have to upload that PDF in the config form, QForm chat validation config, and this is not anything related to the lab. This is just for the validation section. So once you set up the form UI, open the form.
Up the say that
Yeah,
again. I'm
yeah.
confused. So I went in, I did the XPath for my class. I downloaded that general guidelines document off of the folder, the L2 folder, and now I'm
Yeah.
looking for the instructions.
Yeah.
And it
So
says open up the
yeah. So the
check the document.
instructions. Yeah. No. So this instruction is basically for the LLMs. So it's for Claude. It's not for us. So it will see the instruction. It says that you have to go to the general
Oh,
guidelines
I
of
see. I'm
doc.
sorry. I'm an idiot. I get it now.
No worries.
I'm reading it as the. I'm sorry. Never mind.
Well, you know, I mean, instructions. I get what you're saying, but you can get why we were all
I
so
thought they were
confused.
telling me the instructions to what this is what you want me to
These
do.
are the instructions, but no, those were the instructions for the
Oh
bot.
man.
Okay, we're all
Okay,
squared
thank
away
you.
now, and we had a giggle, so thank you, Bob.
Yeah, no problem. That's what I'm here for. Comedy relief.
Appreciate it. And nobody else is having this validation problem. This is special for Benjamin. He's the guy who gets to have the validation problem.
I'm just a unique little butterfly
You,
over here.
you're our little snowflake, our little Oregon snowflake. Okay.
Yes.
Excellent.
I'm just getting to the validation part, so.
Oh, things could still go wrong. Well done, Chris. Let's have hope.
I'm actually having a problem every time I.
So you're having trouble, Sharon?
Yeah.
Do you want to share out, and Benjamin will have Sweta holler when she has an idea of what might be going wrong for you. All right, Sharon. So I can see your email right there. It is. Excellent.
Oops, that's still. So when I start here, and I did the like starting thing at all. It's like,
Oh, okay. So go ahead and just say okay there, and select the My Fields. Select My Fields there on the right-hand side in the data fields. Select the, do you see under data fields?
oh yeah, right here. Yep.
Yeah, click on that. Now you can add a
It'll
field.
probably do it now because
Because I'm here. Huh.
okay, so it didn't crash this time.
I'm sorry?
It did not crash this time. So let me try it again. Every time I get to this part, it
Okay, let's try it
crashes.
and see what happens. Sorry, I'm having a little bit of trouble hearing your audio, but I think you're saying that every time you get to the part, this part, it's been crashing. So
Yes.
yeah, if you want to just add a,
Maybe it's just the way I have my having in this configuration. So it could just be one that you have here in the training. To see if I can get past this.
yeah.
Because it was what is it? Forms created. Hang on, let me.
Yeah.
The screen's jumping all
Forms.
over the place. Yeah, so I'm assuming it's me that's having the issue.
Okay, okay. And
Yeah, I
maybe
can't
sometimes
even.
when we
Yeah,
screen share, things get a little wacky. So why
yeah.
don't you
Let
try
me.
stop sharing and see if you can
Yeah,
get
let
the
me
fields
try.
added. Okay.
Yeah, I'm thinking maybe it's me.
Maybe it's me. It's always just me.
Okay, let me add a field. That's good news. It must have just been
Okay.
my configuration. I'll continue to try.
Okay, good. All right, good. Anybody else stuck? Sweta, have you gotten any clues on what's going on for Benjamin?
Yeah, I think I got some idea, but I'm verifying this.
Okay,
It'll take me a few
cool.
minutes. So for Benjamin, I have created another template. So I just downloaded his XSN and created a new template. The issue was the form detail was not being stored in the SharePoint library, and that is why he was getting the validation error. So I'll just send the link in the chat, and you can test using this XSN, this template.
Okay, and yeah, I see the link in chat. And do you know why that wasn't happening? Was it something, just some odd bug, or was it something to do with Benjamin's form, or?
I don't think this is related to form. This could be a bug, or maybe some could be like internet issues when he was trying to open the chatbot.
Okay.
So yeah.
Cool. Yeah, and maybe just hang on to
So I
the
didn't do
one.
anything wrong. It was.
You didn't do anything
it-
wrong.
Okay. Okay.
You're
Good.
perfect. You're
Your form
perfect
is
as
perfect.
always. Yeah.
So from here, I just need to reopen it and then re-go through the validation part with the chatbot, and then it should be good.
Yeah, so you can you have to add a few more config details. I have added API key and selected the model there, and you can add document validation, autofill, and so on, and continue the lab.
Thank you.
All right. And I do see we've got a few people who are done. We're at 9:35. I think we started this at like 9:09 or something. And I'm in Pacific time, so you'll excuse me, but I'm going to give you Pacific times. I'm not going to be mathing. And so I think we should continue working on the lab for about another 10 minutes. That would bring us to 9:45. And then let's also plan on a short break. Now, obviously, if you choose to work on the lab through your break, that is up to you. And then we could reconvene. Let's aim for about 9:50, if that will work for everyone, because we want to make sure that Alma has time to demo her lab, and that you guys have time to start on it, just in case you run into any challenges. And then again, also, I want to make sure we reserve some time for getting Authenticator set up, so we're all ready to go for tomorrow. So that's kind of my game plan at this point, okay? Hey, Allie, I see your question in chat about margins and paddings on fields. Jimmy, I don't think we're supporting margins and paddings on table, cell, columns, and rows yet, but I believe that is obviously in the works.
Yeah, it's not something. It looks like that's not something we have yet, but I can definitely see there's a lot of need for that. So, we will definitely put that on our list of things people have requested.
Cool. I can always make it work with extra invisible columns and whatnot.
Great.
Just what everybody wants, extra invisible columns. But yes, you're right.
Yeah.
That'll do the trick.
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks for the question.
Or going back in the history, back in the days for web front-end development, what we used really the pixel with the transparent background images, and you can pretty much stretch them any size you wanted to fill up all the spaces.
Those were the days.
Yep.
All right, so I can see we've had at least 6 people get the lab wrapped up, which is great. I do think just in the interest of getting everything done today that we'd like to get done and being able to at least have you get started on that 3rd lab while we have Almel at hand in case you run into trouble. I think these are important things. So I do want to start the next demo in about 5 minutes. Of course, we are all available to help you. If you get stuck at any point later in the day finishing up a lab or tomorrow or next week, or, like Patrick said, we're giving you until January 15th to wrap these up. If you get stuck, just drop us an email, reach out in the meeting chat, and someone will give you a hand. But I think we probably better just stay on schedule here and kick off with Almel at 9:50. Okay, we are going to go ahead and move forward. Again, if you get stuck, reach out. You should be able to, well, you guys should have my email address because I've invited you. You should be able to find Sweda's email address in the chat, or if you need it, let me know, and we'll go from there. But otherwise, let's just go ahead and get started. Again, you've got until January 15th to wrap these things up. And if you get stuck, we are here to help you. So let's go ahead and look at our next topic. You've seen, I'm sure, as we've used this drop down for creating new forms, that we've got several different types of forms you can create. So this time we did our Qdoc chat form, or I'm sorry, our smart validation form. This next form Elmo's going to show you is a starter form with integrated workflow, which you've also probably heard us refer to as central flows. You may have seen our webinars on this topic, and Elmo's been the primary driving force behind this. And so I'm really happy to welcome her to go ahead and start presenting and show us her form demo in her lab, so you guys have a chance to try this out.
Thank you so much, Hillary. And yeah, good day, everyone. I hope you all are still wide awake at this point. I know this is the last, but definitely not the least lab for today's training session. So I hope you're as excited as I am, because today we're going to explore one of the most powerful features in Qdabra Forms, these central flows, just one of them, okay, to name a few. So if you've ever wished for a simpler way to handle form approvals and workflows without the complexity of tools like Power Automate, you're in for a treat. Central Flows is built right into your forms through our Forms viewer, FormsDesigner, right? Giving you everything you need in one place. There's instant notifications, automated routing, and the clear dashboard to track where the forms are in the process. And you'll see some demos in a few here. Think of it as your workflow command center, but without the usual headaches of setup and maintenance. All right. In today's lab, you'll get hands-on experience building a form with integrated workflow. We'll set up notifications, configure form routing, just simple submit one, and see how easy it is to manage the entire process. And by the end of this session, you'll have created your own workflow-enabled form and seen firsthand why Central Flows is such a game changer. Let's dive in, shall we? All right, so I'm going to start by opening our lab PDF here. You guys can grab this from our training site. Let me just click on the link right here. Yeah, so we've went through the introduction. The first step is going to Qdabra Forms, and you'll get to, let me click on there. All right, this should have opened in my other session already. So let me just, maximize my window here. Here is the training home site. Click on the Qdabra Forms launcher link on the left here. And then there's our link to our Forms Viewer Manage Templates page. So click on that and do what you have to do to remember this page, bookmark it, what have you, because this is going to be your go-to starting now as you manage your InfoPath form templates going forward. All right, so you're going to head to Manage Templates, and here's our new feature. Click on this Create a New Template button. I'm actually going through our lab right now, and let me make sure that I'm opening my actual PDF on the right side here so we can go back and forth and we won't lose track on where we're at. So here I'm already in our Create a New Template page. What we're going to do here is select from one of our four available options at this time of training. All right, so we're going to select the workflow form, central flows. This is what we're interested in for this lab. And we're going to name it Day 1, Lab 3, or something that would suit your needs, but make sure that your name is appended, add your name into here so you won't step on each other's toes. So I'm just going to call this something like central flows. I'd like to name my templates, give them a descriptive name so I remember what they are for. All right, so I'm just adding my initials at the end of that to make sure that this is mine, right? Day 1, Lab 3. All right, then now click on Create. And let's see, it's going to do its thing. And behind the scenes, it's going to get saved to our manage templates page. So, all right, it says created. Okay, so what I'd like to do at this point, it's already saved, right? As soon as you click create, it's already saved. And at this point, I'm just going to show you what happened, what we have saved so far, just doing those two steps. I'm going to click open from here. And let's see. So this template already comes with a lot of cool stuff. There is, so anytime soon here, it's still loading. Okay, come on now. All right, it's taking a long time because, like I said, it comes with a lot of good things, things like data connections. It's trying to query, hopefully it won't error out. Okay, it's trying to query our database through our Qdabra database accelerator, DBXL. I'm going to talk more about that later. But here it is. Look at this, showing us there's a header already. There's a footer. There's the main section here. There's a task pane showing us the status over form, some dashboard notes that we can add. And I can toggle this task pane like so, and it hides and shows, right? But this is our main layout, and it's actually responsive too. If I scrunch down my window here, pretending that I have a narrow screen, it does, react to how wide my window is, my browser window is. It's responsive, okay? So I just want to show you that that is what you get if you do start from the template, the Central Flows template. And let's go back here in the designer, then go through real quick and these the data fields, to be specific, the data source, see how many we have a data connections already pre-added for you in this template. You actually don't need to modify any of these. Everything is dynamically gonna point to your site later on when you deploy it to your environment. Okay, so we also have this group added, and this is, if you expand it, you will see a lot of fields already pre-added for you. And I don't want to complicate things, don't want to intimidate you of stuff, but just showing you that you didn't have to add these by yourself. Okay, and especially if we go to rules, everything is configured also with the rules, so you don't all you have to do is the rules that you have to add is anything specific to your form, which we're going to start right about now. Start adding our content, our actual form fields, and view controls, and what we have. What else we have in our form? Okay, so we've done all these steps, first few pages in our lab. I'm just moving along. So for this lab, we're just going to keep using what we already, what we have already done in the first two labs here, use the same survey form as the sample. So we can add these fields. So go ahead and add these same fields in your form. You don't have to really dive deep of adding all of them. If you want, you can just start. So I'm going to start selecting my fields here, the root node, and start adding one of the fields. So I showed just the steps or the screenshots here for adding just the first field, but it's up to you to continue through the rest of them. I have them on step 3 here in page 6. Go ahead and copy and paste. Here's your data type as a guide, and the data type. What type? The type is going to be, it's either field, element, or just a group. So we're going to start with forms created. I'm going to leave it as field element. So I think it's whole number here. Click add. So that's already added. So again, you can go ahead and continue. You can either add anything as long as you have a field in there. I'm not going to go through the steps there. I have a pre-created template. I know I cheated, but all right, you're going to have to excuse me where look for my template here, which I hope I can see. I can't see anymore. All right, where are you? Shall we let me exit of my, okay, here we are. All right, here. Is it? Okay. See,
So
I've
Mel,
cheated.
is this pre-created template? It just has the Central Flows It just started from that blank central flows form and you added these fields?
Yeah, I added the survey form fields.
Okay, before you make changes to that, I'm just gonna download that real quick, and you guys, I'm gonna go ahead and put that in the lab folder. So you've got it, because you guys have added fields so many times now today.
I know.
Right?
Yeah,
That
yeah.
I'm just kind of like, so that one's the D1L3 central flows AC fields.
You got it, yes.
Okay, I just downloaded that, and everyone, I'm gonna put that in the training folder so that you can maybe start with that one if you've added fields enough times today. Okay, I'll hush now. Thanks, Matt.
Yeah, yes, thank you. Okay, so again, here are the fields that I want to appear in my form. Now I'm going to step. The next step is to add the controls for these fields. So here, add controls to the view. I didn't have enough, I didn't have so much screenshots for this. I'm just telling you to place the fields on your view as long, however you want. But for this one, let's give it a good name. So if I scroll down in my central flows pieces here, which I haven't even shown you, let's scroll down to see just the rest of what we have in this pre-made template for you. So this is actually the task pane. Let me back off. This is the task pane, the blue pane that's showing on the right. That's beautifully styled already for you. So I'm just I'd like you to take some time to really explore what this template has and get to a point where you understand what this is for and what you're gonna, in the future you're gonna use it. You want to make sure that you know what you're doing. All right, so I hope that makes sense. Let me go back up and start adding my forms created field. So I'm just going to textbook. Hold on, let me add a table. So I'll probably want a 5x1 table. And in here, let's say how many forms have you created? So again, you've been here, right? Let me just change my font size to 10. And now I'm going to add a text box. So pointed to forms created, click done. Okay, we've got that. And again, I saved myself some trouble. I created a template that has all my text boxes in there if Hillary, you want to push this too.
I'm like, why didn't you tell me about that
So
one when I
sorry.
was talking to you a minute ago? Okay, guys,
Oh
ignore my
my.
other bit. I'm gonna upload this one instead.
We still want people to get used to being, able to add fields themselves.
We do, but they've just gotten to do it a lot today. That's all.
Okay.
It's just in case you guys want this. I'm not saying you have to use it. It's just in
Yeah.
case you want it. All right, and this is the one called Central Flows
Training.
AC Training. Okay, let me
Mhm,
grab
mhm.
that one. All right, guys, that
Okay.
one's going to be in that same folder. We just won't tell anyone.
Thank you. Cheers. Okay, back into our lab. We're now on, your training survey. Let's take a look at how this looks like right now that we have controls on our canvas. So I am just opening. Here we have those fields on our canvas, and it's a lot better now. We have our training survey name there, which I didn't show you how and where to modify. So let me just back off here. You can see my form name at the just right after the logo. You can even change the logo at your will there if you may. So what I did, I just changed the make sure I'm highlighting correctly. Okay, so let's just name this like training survey, or you can add your name so you can see at a descriptive name at the top there. So I'm going to say AC, but I'm not going to save this. Again, I have another one already saved, and it has training survey like so. And going back in our opened form, move my team's controls. Okay, here's how it looks like. Okay, still there's nothing like a submit button. How can I submit a new form? Okay, I know this is a new form, but I can fill it out, right? But where does my form go? How can I submit? That's the next part. Okay, so we're gonna look at our lab again here. All right, set your environment variables. Before we move on to configuring submit, we'd like to make sure that you've got your settings correctly configured in your site. Okay, although we've already done this for you, so you may skip this section. You don't have to do anything on your end on this section. But as a note, you're going to have to deal with environment variables. So let me take you there. So if you're in any Forms Designer page, like you're trying to design your template, just click on the hamburger icon at the top right corner there and go back to, just click on Manage Templates here, and it will take you back to your Manage Templates page. Or if you do get lost, just go back to the bookmarked link that you did before. Okay, so from here, just go back to main. And this page is going to look familiar to you. This is the main page that I've shown earlier. This time we're interested in the Manage Environment Variables link. Okay, so as the name says, you can store all your variables here, whatever you want to reuse in your forms in this environment, you can add them here so that you won't have to like write or add them as a static value or as static values in your forms. You can just add some rules in your form to grab these environment variables. Okay, back to the lab. We talked about what those are for, and those graph keys are actually responsible for handling group assignments, which we'll talk about more in a few real soon here. So here we are in the DBXL submit piece of things. So let's click on this. I provided a link here. It's a link to our DBXL administration tool, which I'm pretty sure you've already configured to be able to access, but yell if you can't access that link. You're going to want to click on the DBXL administration tool link at the top there. And this is where you create your doc type configuration. So this acts as a tool that lets you do a couple of things. Submit most importantly, forms can submit here. Think of this like a SharePoint library. Instead of libraries, we call them document types, and these are groups, right? So I'm going to these are my forms. I'm safe to show these. At least this is my group and this is my document type. Let's call it, maybe we can refer to it as my library. Okay. And okay, for the purpose of this training, let's click on new configuration. This is how you create a new document type configuration. We're going to name this specific to our training. So we'll call this no spaces allowed. So I'm just going to use underscore. So do you want L3 central flows, and make sure to append your initials or your name just to make sure it's yours. And for the solution group, yeah, I already created this one before our training. So let me just do that again and give it a different name this time. So central flows, AC underscore demo, something like that. Okay, and for the solution group, just so you can see your own forms in a better organized way, I suggest to create your own solution group. If you already have one, just select it from the drop down there. Otherwise, click on the S button, and it will let you type in your group name. So you can call it like my name here, something like that, or emails forms. Okay. Right. So I'm not gonna save this, but just showing you anyway. The next piece is make sure that I'm what I'm following the steps for our lab. Okay, where's my lab? Okay, sorry, I'm getting lost every now and then. I think I was on the same tab right here. Yeah, it opened in the same browser window. Okay, so we named our document type. Now we're going to add a template. Okay, so it's like publishing your XSN to this document type. Here in the XSN file section, you're going to need an XSN. And where are you going to get that? You go back to your templates, Qdabra Forms, and manage templates, right? So I'm, for example, designing my form again here, and I can go back to right here. You can have a download button. But yeah, you can also go to manage templates and download from there. But conveniently, we have this download button right there. So click on that. And now I have my XSN. I know this is going to be my downloads folder. I'm going to go back to my administration tool and choose file, click choose file. And I'm going to grab it from my downloads folder right here. Now I have attached it. Okay, Great. Going back to the lab steps. Okay, we've gotten that taken care of. Now for the permissions. So let me grab this, copy and paste this. For the purposes of this lab, we created a key for you to use. It's the training user key. So back in your DBXL administration tool, just go to the permissions tab. I hope I'm not losing anyone yet. Just if you have any questions, feel free to chime in. Not my dogs, sorry about that. All right, so from here in the permissions tab, check on this box to enforce the permissions, and then click insert permissions and just paste the training user name and role name there. Make sure there's add, read, and write permissions. So I don't want to get too technical here, but this training user account is has the key that we're using for all submits and queries happening in our central flows enabled template. So unless we specify this in the DBXL permissions, the user will not be able to submit and query forms in the form that we're trying to build. Okay, I hope that makes sense. So when you're done, just click on save there. And like I said, I'm not going to do that. Let me just show you what I have created before this for our training lab. Yeah, I'm just switching back to the catalog. And let's see. Yeah, so the next step is for us to actually configure or submit back in our form. So this is taking a little time loading. I think it's because we have a lot of solutions already in place. Let me switch back to my other window where I have the catalog. Okay, here's that. Here's the one that I pre-created. I'm gonna copy the document type name that I assigned it with, but you would have remembered this as well. Okay, and back in here is in training. So sorry, and switching you back and forth. Here we are in step 8. Page 9. So it says back in your form template and forms designer, switch to the V2 XDP logic central flows. So it's in here, the fields drop down. Because there's a lot here, it's hard to find things. It's fortunate that we can just tap on the key on the keyboard. I tapped V to get to the V2 XDP logic central flows data source. And I'm there now. I expand actions and then go to DBXL actions. All right. And just keep expanding here. Then we'll get to the DBXL submit node. Okay. From here, we're going to click rules. And we're going to look for this rule, the one named set values for DBXL submit. Right here is your first action rule that sets the doc type field to says your DBXL doc type name here. So obviously we just click on that and let's try to delete everything. And we're going to make sure that we're going to enclose this in quotation marks because this is a static text. I'm going to paste the name of my document type. This is the name that I named my DBXL doc type with a few minutes ago. Okay, so this is important because the form would know, this is how the form would know where to submit. What's the name of the DBXL doc type you're submitting to, okay? So I enter that, click OK, and that's all set. I can click done, then I can save, okay? And while that is saving, I'm gonna switch you back to my lab. And yeah, that's a screenshot of where you have to go, what rule you have to modify. And then, yeah, then here comes the exciting part to configure the workflow. Okay, so I'm gonna open our template here. It says saved. I'm gonna open another tab here with my latest and greatest XSN template. I'm gonna close my other tab so I don't get distracted. All right. So when this opens, we're not going to see anything new as far as the looks go, because we still haven't configured the submit button, the workflow, and whatnot. Yeah, things are just taking time to load for me today. So like I said, there's no button yet, but notice this icon here on the upper right. Just scream if you don't see this icon. You probably need some permissions that haven't been configured for your account yet, but this is the admin. config icon, the user gear icon. So if I click on that, it opens the Central Flows config form where we can specify our workflow. So you're going to think of this as your workflow designer. Okay. So here, the first thing to do is to add a step. Add a step. So you're going to think of this as for every new form, what's going to be your button. Okay. So for this exercise, we're going to add a submit button. And whenever clicked, that will change the status from new to submitted. And then the assignee, whom are we going to assign submitted forms to? For this exercise, we're going to assign forms to ourselves. And to do that, we can either select current. Okay, and you don't have to change anything on the other text box there, but this assigns forms to the logged in user, whoever clicked on that button. Okay, or you can also add a static. Select static from the type there and add your email address. Okay. Something like that. And yeah, you can explore other options here. We've got XPath. XPath just means that it is a field in my form. So if I go back to my Forms Designer here, I can look for whatever I might have in my main data source that will contain my email address maybe. So if I do, for example, this username field here, if I copy XPath, then I can go back to my config and do XPath and paste my XPath in here, right? So it is going to be dynamic. So for submit forms, it's going to look up the email address or the whatever the user is in this field and will assign the form to that user. Okay. Hope that makes sense. We support group as well, SharePoint groups, distribution list. This is where the MS Graph keys are, are responsible. This is where they come in. Make sure you got those keys set up for if you want to use distribution list in your assignments. Okay, you can also assign it to your manager. It will look it up in your user profile services. And then previous is whoever submitted the form before you. Okay, so yeah, I just thought I'd explain that. But for simplicity, we're just gonna do static and use our email address in here so that we get to receive email notifications when we attempt to submit later when we test our solution. Okay, I think I'm all set with this for now. That's all the lab step has for this part. That's submitted. You can also, at your own time, feel free to explore the other tabs there. Okay, we do have previous trainings and webinars as well, diving deep into these other features. Okay, so I'm good for now, and I'm going to go back to my open session right here from session. I'm going to refresh and let's see what happens. Now I have that submit button, like so, okay? Just to show you that there are no magic tricks here, let me edit my button label. So, okay, so let me see, I'm gonna say submit for a demo and save again. Okay, and real quick, let's refresh. So again, whatever you configure in your Center Flows config form that is associated with your template will appear here. All right, so let's go back to our lab. We've configured our Central Flows config for our workflow step, and now is the point where we test our form. Okay, so we're going to fill out a form. We're going to say I'm going to say 200 forms, probably more, since 2008. I would say 16 years with Qdabra now, and I hope to actually get to know the trainees who read and attend all four. And I am from the Philippines. Great. Now this is my submitted form during the demo. Finally, we're going to click submit, and I'm crossing my fingers. Hopefully there are no errors, so that closed. And how we're going to verify that it indeed made its way is first, I should receive an email here anytime soon, and I'm waiting for a pop-up on my taskbar over here for that email. They're usually instantaneous. Another place is the dashboard, which I'll show real soon. I still haven't received that pop-up. let me hop into my, okay. Like I'm in my inbox right now, and this is the email that I just received. Okay. So 2:20 a.m., no cheating. I just received this email now. This is from one of the system document types in Central Flows. It's informing me that a form has been submitted. This is by myself at this date and time. And this was my comment that I entered in the dashboard note box. And this is another way of going back to the form. So click here to view the form in the browser. If let me click on that, and it should open my submitted form like so. Okay. And right now it's on submitted status, which we told our, we configured in our designer, workflow designer, to go to that status after clicking submit. And the only button that we can see now is the close form button because there's nothing else in our workflow steps. Okay. So that's one way to access the forms that were previously submitted by clicking on the link in the email. But you don't want to, keep digging in your emails to look for that link. Therefore, you do have your Central Flows dashboard, which is, again, I suggest you bookmark what have you in order to get this into your, your system, into your daily workflow, what have you. But you'll see that right now I'm on the My Assignments tab. This is the doc type that I just configured, the training one, and we'll see that I have one form for this doc type, and this is the one that we just submitted during the demo. There's my note. Okay, we also see that we expand here. We'll also see the history that happened throughout this, throughout that submit. All right. And under my forms, you will see the forms that you have submitted. So I should be able to also see that. And in show all, you can see all the other doc type forms that you have in your system, ones that you have permissions to view. Okay. So this is another one thing that you should go ahead and explore. There's a lot of cool things in our Central Flow solution, but yeah, this is showing you the email that you have received. This is the chance for you to like configure things on your own, go through the lab steps and holler if you have any questions. But before I let you guys go, let me just show a quick, very, very quick demo of real world form that we have built out there for one of our customers. So yeah, this is a lot fancier form. This has the central flows built in. Look at the task pane. This has a lot of buttons going on. It can expand and it has a different color scheme. This is based off their theme. Okay, and they have a lot of fields in their forms, but again, this central flows enabled. And let me just show you the workflow steps configured for it. There are a lot. So just showing you that Central Flows indeed can handle complex workflows and what have you. You can just contact us if you need assistance setting these up. All right, that's it for me. Go ahead and start your lab, I guess. Hillary, take it away.
Yeah, thanks so much, Mal, for going through this with everyone. If anybody has any questions, be sure to reach out to Misty. Misty's really experienced with Central Flows. Misty's over there ready to kill me now. Misty's like, I'm
I
coming
was
for you.
just looking at those thinking, oh gosh, that was rough, I bet.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Misty's got a lot of Central Flows experience. But yeah, please feel free to get started on your lab. I did upload that starter form for you to try to cut a little time off of what this is going to take. I really want at 10:45 to pause so that we can make sure that everybody has the access they need for tomorrow. And so we can do at least some kind of a quick little recap. I know that doesn't leave you enough time to probably finish this. Again, you know how to reach me for support. I'm going to type the support alias in here just in case somebody doesn't have it. You can grab Mel's email address from the Teams chat. So if you get stuck while you're working on these, just reach out at any time, and we're happy to help get you unstuck back. But for right now, let's just plan on kind of a 20-minute. If you need a quick break, go grab water, go walk around the block real quick or whatever. Do that. Try to get started on the lab, or at least kind of review it and see if you have any questions. And then we'll do a little bit of a recap and just verify that access that we need for tomorrow's class. Okay. And if that sounds just like a terrible idea to anyone, please speak up, because we're like all in this together. So, okay, we'll chat soon. And Benjamin, you had a question. Y'all
Yeah,
can
this
just
is
talk. Y'all don't have to raise your hands.
okay. So how do I actually use that the pre-made one that you
Yeah,
put in
yeah.
there?
Oh, yeah, yeah. Let me show you guys. Well, we haven't actually done that bit, and that's my bad. Thank you for mentioning that. So yeah, if we want to use there's my draft email. Let me just show you guys everything on my screen. So here we are, and I'll go to documents, and I'll go to thinking, day one. Okay. Come on, baby. And then this was lab 3. All right, so here's the pre-made one, and you would do a download. Okay, so now that's downloading. Let's go to Qdabra Forms Launcher. Let's hit this. All right, so we've had you guys starting from new. So those of you who are new to Forms Viewer haven't tried this button yet. So it's actually a good thing that I'm cheating, but y'all don't tell Patrick. And so we'll do an upload new template right there. And this is going to be my new D1 L3 Hillary, right? And then you can, you can click or drag and drop. Let me go find this. So, bloop. I like to drag and drop. And we'll click upload. And it's syncing. And now I can go into design. Okay, so that's how you can upload an existing one instead of starting from fresh. And then that way we've got Mel's little, because I mean, if she got to cheat, y'all get to cheat, right?
Yeah. Don't tell Patrick.
Don't tell Patrick. I know he's going to watch us. He's going to be like, what? No, I'm kidding. Does that make sense, Benjamin?
Yeah, it's just sitting there. It just doesn't seem to be uploading for me, so I'm not sure if that's like
Oh,
on
sure.
my end or
Sure.
it just
Sure. Sometimes I drag and drop the form and then I don't actually click the upload button down there. So let's try clicking the upload button down there. Yeah.
Oh,
Okay.
there's already a
So
template.
it
Okay.
already, maybe it already uploaded with that name. And you can name this 2 or whatever. Guys, don't worry if you create a bunch of test junk up here. I'm not at all concerned if you accidentally create multiple forms
There.
or
Okay,
anything
thank
like
you.
that. Okay. Yeah. All right. Perfect. All right, so we will regroup at 10:45 because I know I've been harping on it, but I just want to make sure we get that access squared away for Authenticator for tomorrow, so that Ashisha's lab will go a little more smoothly. And please reach out if you've got questions as you work. And yeah. All right, and also, by the way, Chris mentioned that Authenticator was working for him for support. If you know Authenticator's working for you, you can also let me know that in chat. Hey, thanks, Chris. You have a great day. We'll talk to you tomorrow. Okay, Allie, you said you don't have the user icon at the top right of your test form.
That is correct.
You want to share out?
I sure can.
Okay.
Yeah, so I probably know why. I was trying to add everyone as global admin in this central flow solution, but I couldn't get all of your email address or your account information. Would you like to
Okay.
send me? Yeah. Send me your, yeah, maybe paste it in chat or something.
Oh, Allie, we used your Gmail account
We did use my Gmail
for
account.
training. That's right. That's right.
Yeah.
And
And
so,
it's a whole
yeah.
bunch of letters. So
Yeah, if you can give, maybe you want to PM.
Yeah, I get Mel,
It's
let me
great.
send it to you. I'll send it to Mel.
Oh,
Not
okay.
a problem. Let
Okay,
me do
great.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay,
Sharon, I
so
think I added your Gmail account. Do you not see the icon either?
I just was getting started.
Yeah, I was able to find your account in our system, Sharon, but not Allie. So I'm gonna wait for that.
Yeah. Just be a second here. Sorry, Allie, I'm struggling a little to find that, but I know I've got it.
oh, no problem. I can also send it if I need to.
Okay. And I have indeed found it. So Mel, I'm going to paste this into chat for you.
Thank you. Mhm.
All right.
Got it. It is a bunch of letters.
Yeah.
Very cool though. Okay, so I have added you in the admins list. Go ahead and refresh your page for me, please.
Let's see.
There
There it
we
is.
go.
Cool. Thank you very much.
You bet.
Okay, and I'm going to go ahead and anybody who's still showing as invite pending for the authenticator stuff that I've been talking about, I'm going to just send you a new invite right now. The link can only be clicked one time. They expire in 24 hours. So if you want to hold off until 10:45 when we start looking at this again, that's perfectly cool. But I just wanted to get those links sent. And they'll come from, I believe, support@qdabra.com.
On the doc type name, does that have to match the name of the form, or does that only matter in the data field for the DBXL submit option?
It doesn't matter if the template names are different, like a forms designer template versus the DBXL doc type template. Doesn't matter.
Okay. I'm not sure what I did wrong then, because when I tried to submit it, it said that name doesn't exist that I used for
Name
the
doesn't
doc
exist
type.
in the. Yeah, let's go ahead and share out, please.
Okay. So, okay, so I put that here,
Yeah.
right?
So
And
I can
then,
already, yeah, sorry.
and then that's what I used there. So did I do something wrong?
Yeah, I can already see that there seems to be a single quote and a double quote surrounding
Oh,
your
I see. Okay,
name at the
thank
same
you.
time. Yeah, sure.
Okay.
So do let us know if there's something that needs to be, fixed in the document as well. If you see any issues with the lab steps, right? Let us know. Okay, I'll go ahead and try again.
Yeah. Okay, looks like it worked now. Thank you.
Awesome.
Hooray. Thanks, Mel.
Yeah, sure. I think I received the email too. I'm BCC'd in your email notification, so yeah, I can see it worked, man. Thank you.
There was a question from Nima on how to log in. I'm going to go ahead and just share out my screen so you guys can see where this document is. So I mentioned it in chat, but just in case you didn't see that in chat, I have login information here under day 2. Here is a text file, so you can just from the home page, I'm not going to open this because we already have video editing to do, but we're not going to have more. Day 2, and then you click on DBXL login text. That gives you the URL as well as the login credentials you need to be able to log in. We are at 10:45. So what I want to do now is go ahead and do a little bit of wrap up and then address these pressing authentication issues that I would like to look at before I free everyone. I'm uploading the slides for you too, so feel free to go through the little check your knowledge quiz. I'm going to skip it in the interest of time. Obviously, we're here for you guys. That's why we're doing this. And please feel free to chat any takeaways you have, and we might pop back to this slide if we have a few minutes at the end. Here is a little preview for what we're going to be working on tomorrow. One of the XML template parts we're going to look at is the Q form authentication. Now that's also what we use for our support form, and that's why I want to make sure you guys can log in because that's lab 1 tomorrow. So I want to make sure everybody can log in once they go to test that. Lab 2 I'll be presenting, and that's for adding a SOAP data connection to your form. Sweta just finished implementing the ability to add SOAP data connections in FormsDesigner. We're super happy about that. Lab 3, we can copy and paste rules now. So we're also super excited about that. And then Lab 4 is not actually a lab. I just have some stuff that's work in progress that I wanted to share with everyone. So that is our list of what we're going to do, and this is my concern. I want to make sure everybody's ready and can log into the support portal or use Authenticator. So let me, I'm going to hit end on this slideshow, maybe. And I've got a screenshot here. So I know it's been a little confusing because we have Authenticator set up to use for SharePoint. But I also need you to be able to have an authenticator code that you'll use to log into the support portal. I just resent invitations to everyone who I could see was listed as not having accepted an invite. So you should receive an email with a link in it that you can click to set up authentication. Has everybody who has not yet been able to log in to the support portal here, let me paste this link in the chat. Has everybody who has not yet been able to log in there received a link? Okay, so Scott says, okay, Evan gets an invalid invitation code. Scott gets an invalid invitation code. Okay. And has anybody else been able to, I'd like everybody else who got an email to try clicking that. Scott, Evan, I'm going to stop sharing and I'm going to go check the database and see if I can get anywhere on your two accounts. Kathy gets an invalid. So that Kathy, that was from the one that I just sent you.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. And anybody else getting invalid invitation code? Because some of y'all I'm just going to remove entirely and I'm going to add you back in again and send it again. So I think I know in at least one case we were seeing an issue with some spam filtering that was kind of pre-clicking the link. Oh yeah, Nicholas, I don't have you added yet. I'm gonna have to actually add you to the client form and then send that to you. So I need to address our other invalid invitation codes first. So let me see what I can do for these. So far invalid invitation codes are Evan, Scott, and Kathy. Has everybody else been able to access? All right, thanks, Benjamin. Okay, and I'm just checking the database here. I may have to actually completely remove a couple of you so we can try again. And I think I'll just go with one at a time. Okay, so yeah, Evan, for some reason I'm going to start with you, Evan. For some reason it shows you as approved there. And let me check in my other, this is not, and we've seen this, I've seen this kind of happening before. So let me just see if you still show as pending in another place. Yeah, you do. Okay, so Evan, what I'm going to do here is I'm going to reset your status in the database real quick, and then I'm going to have you try your link again. And then if that works, we'll move on to our next victim. I could have written the, the sequel in advance, right? But did I? No. Let me just make sure I don't accidentally like blow up the entire thing. And where user invitation ID. Okay, I think I've got that ready. Okay, so Evan, do you mind trying your link again? Oh, Misty had success, thank you. Evan, do you want to try your link again? And let me know. I know you've got a cold. And Scott, I'm going to try resetting you to.
Ouch.
Ouch.
Resetting sounds kind of painful.
Oh, it sounds a little brutal. I'm like, wait. Yes, Scott, where is your reset button? Do I have to poke you with an unfolded paper clip? And sorry. Oh, Evan's working. Okay. Yay, Evan's working. Scott, let's see if my magic trick works for you too. 1 second here. I gotta kind of do one at a time or my whole brain's gonna fall out. Which that's messy, right? Execute. All right, Scott, do you want to try your link again? Let's see if we get anywhere with you. Irina was able to log in. Evan was able to log in.
Nope. Same thing.
Same thing. You're still getting an invalid invitation code. Okay. Hold tight, Scott. We're going to come back to you. I'm going to try fixing up Kathy. And then you and I might have to try. I had one person who actually ended up having to use a different email address before we were able to get them access because their email, their internal stuff was doing something untoward to the link. Oh, wait. You know what the problem is your little helper can't read. Let me try this again. Sorry. I was looking at the wrong one. Let's try you one more time, Scott, and then Kathy, I'll try you. Everybody who has made it, do not feel like you have to sit this out for the duration. Thank you so much for coming. We really value you, and we look forward to training tomorrow. Okay, Scott, you want to try again?
Yep. Well, I just did, and it failed just
I mean, I
as.
just did a
Oh,
second
okay.
ago. I just changed it again a second ago. Yeah,
Gotcha.
sorry. You're in there twice, and I'm not smart enough to have noticed that. So let's.
That went through.
Whoa, that's a happy noise. Have we had success?
Well, it didn't complain the same way, so I'm at the
Okay.
point where I'm supposed to enter the phone number, so it hasn't
Okay.
failed. It hasn't failed yet.
Great. And have I given you guys instructions? Let me paste the instructions again so everybody's got them. Copy
User
link.
registered successfully.
Okay. All right. So Kathy, I'm going to reset you next. I think. Let me make sure I found you. All right. Okay, Kathy, why don't you try?
Are you using the STMHMR or TCTR?
I am using STCTR. Is that incorrect?
No, that's fine. Looks like it's working so far.
Okay, excellent. You've got the instructions so you can finish setting it up. You guys, the when you get the authenticator set up, I know we're kind of used to it like redirecting to another page or something. That doesn't happen here. You're just sitting there with the QR code up, but you can try that support page and verify you're able to log in. So I know I need to get Nick added. Is there anybody else who needs help getting access to that support page, being able to use that authenticator? Just let me know if you're having trouble. Like I said, it's the first lab tomorrow. That's the only reason I'm being so forceful about making sure we have this all working for everyone. And Nick, I need to get you added. So let me do that and get an email sent to you. Kathy, I'll go ahead and just delete the emails you sent asking about what email I'm using for you, because I think we've addressed that. And let me get Nick's email. So please speak up in chat if you're having trouble so I can help you. And oh, Scott, good job, Scott. And thank you. I could use a party emoji right about now. I gotta tell you. Yes. We need more party emojis in this world. And let's get you added. Oh, I did add you. I just didn't send the invite. Okay, fabuloso. I love it when I'm more prepared than I think I am. And let me invite you. All right. And so you may also, Nicholas, you may also end up with a message about it being invalid when you get the invite. But do click the link. You should get it shortly. And if you get invalid, then let me know and I will continue my happy database hacking. Everybody else I'm hoping is okay. Again, I think we all know, you all know where to reach me. As soon as this recording processes, which you guys know how Teams is, it takes a few. As soon as the recording processes, I'll get you a link. I'm also uploading it to Hightail. Mel, I'm going to send you a link to that hightail so that when you get a chance, you can edit out that one little blip.
Oh, yeah. Thank
Yeah,
you.
yeah. But I don't think we can't edit I don't think we can edit the Teams recording. I don't know. Let me know if you know a way and we can edit the Teams recording, but I don't know that we can. But I will also load this up to Hightail just in case. Nicholas, were you able to access? Did you get your link? Oh, I see it says approved. What did it work for you?
Yeah, I'm trying it.
Okay, so when you click the link, you.
I'm
Oh
getting
yeah, Kathy,
invalid
you're showing
authentication
approved.
code.
You got what?
Invalid authentication code.
Okay, you're getting an invalid code. Okay, so let me go ahead and switch. Let me do the same thing I've done for the others with you. I think there's something going on with some email systems spam checks where I think they actually end up invalidating our authentication code. Okay, so I'm gonna do one little database side thing. And now can you try clicking that link again and see if you get anything different?
Oh yeah. Register phone number.
Oh, good. Okay, good. And I've included the instructions in chat. Hopefully everybody can find those. And you just follow the instructions in that guide. Kathy, yours is showing as approved now, which means you accepted the invite. Were you able to follow through the steps to get things set up the rest of the way?
I think I have it set up. I scanned the QR code and I have a Qdabra authenticator.
Perfect,
Now what
perfect.
else
And
do
so
you do
you
for
can
me?
check it here. Sorry, that floated its way up the chat a little ways. I'll share out. Share and let me get to the right place. Whoops. Oh, the Teams bar, the bane of our existences, our collective existences, right? So I've sent a link to the support portal. This is one way you can check whether or not you've got things set up correctly. And then for our authenticator token, we just put in whatever we've got in our authenticator app, which I don't have up, of course. And how did I end up with so many things in my authenticator app? And I know I'm not the only one. So I can see my token just came to the end of its life. So let me give it a second. There we go. And 792, and then log in. Ta-da. And this is our test company. And so I put yeah. Okay. So everybody else, you should belong to the correct your own company. And then I think it was Nami who I put in our test company because they don't have a company. Nick, were you able?
No. It prompted me for a QR code and I launched that QR code, but after that nothing happened for me.
Oh, okay. So you've got the QR code. Can you go to the thanks, Chris. Can you go to the support page that I've linked in chat? And you took a picture of the screen. You used the QR code to add to Authenticator and everything, right? As per the instructions.
Yeah.
Okay. So can you find 1, 2, 3 up at about 10:59? I chatted a link. Do you see that link in chat?
Yep.
It's the support portal. If you click on that, are you able to sign in?
No.
Okay. Can you share out your screen, please? And everybody, please feel free to go if you're ready to roll. No need to stick around. I'm not trying to hold everybody hostage here. All right. So you were able to configure Authenticator. You've got the Qdabra Authenticator on your phone now. Oh, okay. So you are just clicking the link again? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so I didn't understand that part. Okay, so I'm gonna reset that for you again. Go ahead and click OK, and let me reset this again. All right, and just hold on for a second, and then I'll have you click the link again from your email, okay?
Mm-hmm.
All right, and let me find your invite again. And let me get the right code here and reset you. Copy and paste. And if this doesn't work, I may end up having to remove you entirely, or I may have Samuel reach out and see if he's got any ideas. But okay, so now I've got you back to Ascent status. So I'll have you click the link in your email.
Working on it. Yeah, I'm still waiting on the code.
Oh, I didn't send you another email. I want you to use the one that I sent you before.
Oh, okay, I got you.
Yeah, it's the same email. So there we go. Now put in your phone. The one that you use, you know, with your authenticator app or whatever.
Yeah, yeah.
And you can stop sharing if you want and then come back. It's up to you. I don't think anybody's going to do something nefarious with your phone number. But I get it.
So I just clicked register user with email approved. So what that?
Yeah. Okay, so wait. Can you go try back on the support portal, try signing in? We may have to completely remove you and re-add you. Please, everybody else, feel free to leave if you don't need anything. If you do need something, just reach out, let me know. Okay, so it's going to be your email address.
Authentication token.
Yeah, that's from the Qdabra. Do you have Qdabra in your authenticator? Not Qdabra software, just Qdabra. And I'm going to go ahead and stop recording this meeting at this time.